Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
You said this place was steps from the water.
We just haven't found the steps yet.
How much did we save?
Enough.
Enough to get lost?
Or you could book a stay with Hilton.
Welcome to your oceanfront room, just steps from the water.
The Hilton sale is on now. Book on Hilton.com or the Hilton app and save up to 20% to get the stay you expected. When you want savings, not surprises, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Sid and Friends in the morning. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I'm sorry, Sid. Hi.
Oh, God, don't be sorry. You kidding me?
No, I'm wrapped up in these meetings on peace. And I said, it's between peace and Sid Rosenberg. And I said, let's take Rosenberg, okay? So.
We are met on a great battlefield. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that nation might live. We cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the great task remaining before us. That from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
A number of Americans are expected to take a getaway this weekend to kick off their holiday. So what does this mean for you if you're headed to the airport?
We're going to tell you right now, be prepared to pack your patience. ABC's Will Reeves on the tarmac at LaGuardia with the details. Hey, Will.
Sam, Charlene, Pedro, good morning to you. The Memorial Day travel rush is underway. We're here at LaGuardia this morning, right behind me. This Delta flight is headed to Minneapolis. They're putting the bags on right now, 190 people starting their holiday weekend, moving on to where they need to go. Delta runs about 270 flights out of Terminal C here at their peak times, like this holiday weekend. And for this Memorial Day weekend, they expect 26,000 flights system-wide, which is a huge number. And they expect their busiest day to be tomorrow to kick off the weekend. And overall, 45 million people nationwide are expected to travel for this holiday weekend in some fashion. That is an increase year over year, even as costs for everything increase year over year. And of those 45 million people, 3.5 million people are expected to fly. That's also an increase, even as the cost of an airplane ticket is up 20% year over year. And here at the New York area airports, LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, over 2 million people expected to pass through this holiday weekend. That is a slight uptick year over year. So bottom line, however you slice it, however you break it down, it's Memorial Day weekend. It's about to be summertime. It's going to be really busy however you travel. And if you are flying, as they say, pack your patience and get here early. Airlines and airports recommend arriving 2 hours before your flight if you're flying domestically, 3 hours ahead of time for international guests.
Well, Rockland County is preparing for its first visit from a sitting president since Gerald Ford in 1976. You can see the heavy trucks in place as part of the security arrangements at Rockland Community College. That's where President Trump will speak on the economy at 3 p.m. Republican Mike Lawler says despite challenges like high gas prices, the president has plenty to be proud of.
For one, the stock market continues to reach record highs, which obviously impacts people's 401ks and retirement accounts. Two, from a housing standpoint, we've been able to bring down interest rates on mortgages.
But protesters who plan to be outside the event say the Trump economy is not helping most Americans.
Working families are thinking about it. Our seniors are thinking about it. And young adults who can't find affordable housing to live here are certainly thinking about our economic picture.
Multiple Rockland school districts have early dismissals due to expected road closures related to presidential security.
It's a big story because we are about to see some big changes at New York Penn Station. The Trump administration and Amtrak have come up with $8 billion, a plan to overhaul the station.
So while Madison Square Garden will stay, a lot of other things will not. There will be a new grand entrance, new concourses, new shops, and it's going to have more rail capacity.
Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett with a closer look at the grand plans for Penn Station, including the Trump administration and how it's involved.
To the thousands of commuters flooding through Penn Station, it must have looked like a search for the paranormal, scoping out the tracks, peering around corners, creeping slowly down the central corridor, and slipping quietly into storefronts. But he's actually using a laser to make 3D images of Penn Station for a multi-billion-dollar project to rebuild it.
If they're willing to make that investment, as they say, and they're not going to mess with the Long Island Railroad areas, we're very excited.
The original renderings depicted soaring ceilings, vast open corridors, and a majestic new entrance on 8th Avenue. The Trump administration took over the project last year, led by former transit president Andy Byford. The project is one step closer to having shovels in the ground next year, Byford said today. It demonstrates that Amtrak and USDOT are uniquely capable of making this vision a reality. In testimony before Congress, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the administration was committing $8 billion for the project. Penn Station was built in 1910, but fell into disrepair and was demolished in the 1960s. Previous concepts never got off the drawing board. Ron Siegel owns restaurants in Penn Station.
I think it's a great idea because it'll help clean up the station. It'll give the station a much better image. And it is America's transportation hub.
Some riders tonight are skeptical.
I think there'll obviously be strings attached.
Shut up.
It's going to be learned. It's going to be Trump Station.
Don't.
And, it's just another grift after another grift.
You're just another moron.
Tom Wright is with the Regional Plan Association.
The federal government's commitment to this and the fact that this is the best proposal I've seen in 25 years for actually fixing Penn Station, those coming together give me a real sense of optimism.
2 generations of riders have heard a lot of promises. But if this happens, and it happens on time, Penn Station could be rebuilt within 6 years.
Stephen Colbert signs off from The Late Show on CBS after more than a decade as host. The network is ending the program after a 30-year run that started with David Letterman. Bradley Blackburn shares more.
When Stephen Colbert kicked things off at The Late Show on CBS in 2015, there were questions about whether his kind of comedy would work.
It didn't.
But Colbert raced ahead in the ratings after he focused squarely on politics with the political rise of Donald Trump.
A wall in every place.
His satire drew the ire of the president, but found an audience, even as TV viewing fractured.
Not really.
CBS says ending the show after 11 seasons was, quote, purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. As The Late Show signs off, the future is uncertain for the historic Ed Sullivan Theater, a broadcasting landmark here in New York City. It's where the Beatles played on American TV for the first time, and later home to David Letterman, who returned last week to revive traditions. Yes! Fans with tickets for the series finale lined up hours ahead.
Losers.
An end for The Late Show and a major change for television.
Byron Allen will take over The Late Show's time slot on CBS with a comedy talk show, Comics Unleashed.
Folks, please have a seat, everybody. And now for my final interview. My guest tonight is not just perfect. He is, in fact, infallible. Please welcome all the way from Vatican City.
Stephen.
What? Waltine, what are you doing? I'm trying to introduce the Pope.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Pope won't come out of his dressing
This is
room.
why the show got canceled. Listen.
What? Why not?
Well, we didn't read his whole rider, and evidently we got him the wrong snacks. He's pretty mad.
But he asked for hot dogs. We got him hot dogs. Let me talk to him. Put him up. Your Holiness, please come out. Leo, Leo, please. We got a show.
No way, Colbert. You call that a Chicago dog? Colt don't play like that.
Oh, my God.
Leo out.
Leo out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Now what? This is great television.
The Pope, who was definitely my guest tonight,
guess not.
has canceled. And did we already send the other stars away?
Yeah, I think
so. We already sent the other stars away. This is terrible. Well, who's going to be my last guest now?
About that.
Hey, Steve, what about me?
Stephen Colbert acting as if Pope Leo, who nobody wants to hear from anyway, but he's in the same mold as Bruce Springsteen and Robert De Niro, just some guy out there hating on Trump. He may be a religious figure, but I am not obliged to like him, and I don't. But Colbert, of course, loves him, and all you had to do was listen to that bit. Now, this is his last show. 11 years. People standing outside online at the Ed Sullivan Theater, some in tears. This is his last show. This was supposed to be his best material on the way out, and that was it. So when you ask why the show was canceled, as the left continues to blame Donald Trump, and I hope the president did have something to do with it. I really do. I really do. But the truth is, he didn't. The truth is, CBS paying this guy a ton of money, and all he did every night was hate on Trump. There was no content. There was nothing funny. You heard that lousy bit with Pope Leo who turned into Paul McCartney. That's his best work right there, folks. That's his best work. That's why the show's over. They talk about his rating success. You know how many people watch late-night television? 10. There are more people listening to me right now, than watch those shows at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time on any one of those networks. Do you realize the other two idiots, Jimmy Fallon, NBC, and Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, both took the night off last night so they can be in the audience? They were actually sitting in the audience for Stephen Colbert's last show. Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel. Why? Because they're all cut from the same cloth. They're all blaming President Trump, right? Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, what that poor guy has to go through. Poor Jimmy. Can't I make a joke every now and then about somebody killing the president without the president getting angry with me? That's Jimmy Kimmel. Now, Fallon, I don't find to be as bad as the rest of those guys. And truth be told, from much of Fallon's career, I thought he was kind of cute. I like his movies. The baseball movie with Drew Barrymore, I liked a lot. Forgot the name of that. I liked all of his cute dancing skits with Justin Timberlake. I like Jimmy Fallon. It was cute. He's not as bad as Kimmel or Colbert. That's all they do. That's all Kimmel and Colbert do night after night is talk bad about Trump. And it works in New York because you got a bunch of morons here, real morons. You know, I know that there was a piece that we played in the open from Channel 7, Eyewitness News, Bill Ritter, the worst. N.J. Burkett I kind of like, but they're interviewing people in Penn Station, which is a disgusting place. Just disgusting. I'm there every now and then. When I take the train to Washington, D.C., I got to walk through Penn Station. The smell of duty and pee-pee is still everywhere. Even with the new Moynihan, whatever it's called, Space Station, that's where I get the train from. Once you get to the old part of Penn Station, like by the Long Island Railroad, it stinks. There are still homeless guys right there by the train entrance, just laying there. It's disgusting. So they want to spend $8 billion and fix it. You would think every New Yorker who has to use that place would be thrilled. But no, Channel 7 finds some black guy who hates President Trump, and he's like, another grift situation. Another grift situation. What are you talking about, grift situation? If you're in there every single day, don't you want the place to be, I don't know, nicer than it is now? It just doesn't stop. Anything this man tries to do to improve this city, improve this state, improve this country is met by idiots like that. I mean, why would you have anything against fixing Penn Station if you're there every day? Explain that one to me, no.
You would think if you go in and out of there every day, you would desperately want it to be nice.
Of course.
Because you get stuck. Sometimes you get stuck there. The trains are late. There's not really a great place to go have a drink or sit down and eat. And if you do, then you get badgered by these people. So that's no good.
I mean, you see the difference between Penn Station and, for example, what's the one on the east side on 42nd Street?
Grand Central.
Grand Central, right. Grand Central is much nicer. And you've got some real good restaurants in there. Cipriani's, I think that's still there. I'm not even sure. Palladino's, very nice steakhouse inside. The architecture is beautiful. You can really thank Jackie Onassis for that. She's the one who made sure they fixed that place. But only a Trump hater would have something bad to say about fixing Penn Station, and only Bill Ritter and Channel 7 would give that asshole TV time. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not shocking from that.
No.
Newscast, yeah.
And of course, what took place last night above Penn Station? Right there. Now 2-0, 9 straight wins, halfway to the NBA Finals. It'll be their first trip back since Patrick Ewing and the club lost to San Antonio in 1999. Don't look now, but the Knicks remain unbeatable. Didn't have to come back from 22 back. Didn't have to worry about this one. They pretty much had it the whole way. Josh Hart was spectacular, led the club with 26 points. Cleveland really has no answer at this point for this Knick offense. Again, the Knicks, after losing Game 3 to the Hawks, have now won 9 consecutive playoff games, and they're winning these games easily, double digits, including the first 2 in this series. Because don't forget, down 22, they still outscored Cleveland. What was it, 15-3 or something in the overtime session? So they won by 11. Last night, they won by double digits again. The Knicks are halfway back to the NBA Finals. And I must tell you that the only thing that ruins it for me, and I hate saying this because I've loved the Knicks my whole life, just like the Mets. I loved the Mets my whole life for 59 years. And it was nice sitting with Steve Cohen. He's a nice guy. He really is a terrific guy, the owner of the New York Mets. He felt really badly that I was mad at the ball club, and he invited me and Bill O'Reilly and my son Gabe to sit with him in his suite on Friday night. And we did it, and it was great. And Steve Cohen's a really nice guy. But I'm not going back to the Mets. I remain with Randy Levine and the Yankees. And with my Knickerbockers halfway to the NBA Finals and loving every second of this, my Nick Met moment is coming close. If you know what I'm saying, no.
Don't jinx it.
I go on Twitter after the Knick win, and what's the first thing I see? Mayor Mamdani.
Oh, no.
He's in the building. Now, he's nowhere near where, for example, Bill O'Reilly was last night, second row, or Corey Zelnick, second row, or Spike Lee, first row. Nowhere near there. He's actually all the way upstairs. And who's he there with? Wearing a Knick jersey, Jumaane Williams.
Oh.
And they've got video of the two of them fist pumping and going crazy. And I had to do everything I could last night not to do what I did with the Mets. I'm serious. I don't want to see Mamdani rooting for the Knicks. Jumaane Williams, a complete loser. Complete. To see those two guys in Madison Square Garden, but Mamdani specifically, because I don't care what anybody tells me. You think Mamdani knows anything about the Knickerbockers' history?
No.
Of course not. All of a sudden, because he's the mayor of New York City, because we live in a city with dumb people that voted this radical jihadist into office, all of a sudden he's a big-time Knick fan. I couldn't even watch it. I was in the car literally getting nauseous. Now, the good news is it doesn't look like Jim Dolan gave the mayor the seats you would think the mayor would get.
Well, but if he were to give the mayor the tickets that the mayor would want, can you imagine the crowd at watching the Knicks game when they flashed to him on the big
I don't know.
screen?
There's a lot of liberals in that building last night. What do you mean, no?
You're wrong.
Ben
I'm telling
Stiller's sitting there. Dustin Hoffman's sitting there.
The booze would be loud.
I don't know about that.
He was purposely not sat there for that reason.
I hope so. I don't know. He didn't sit there because he didn't get those tickets.
Right, but they could have given him the tickets.
No. You know why? Because Jim Dolan's a millionaire. And Jim Dolan sides with Ken Griffin and John Catsimatidis and Bill Ackman. He's not going to go out of his way to make it good for Mamdani. But I disagree with you. I think he would get plenty of applause.
Really? I don't think so.
There's all liberals in that building.
The whole celebrity row, actually.
They're all liberals, every one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, diehard liberals. Ben Stiller, Spike Lee, the McEnroe brothers. They're grotesque. Tina Fey, Dustin Hoffman. I don't see many Trump supporters sitting there. No, I'm not saying, the people in their seats are all like that. I mean, Bill O'Reilly was there last time, but he's not MAGA like me. Corey is, Zelnick, but no, you're wrong. I'd bet my month salary that the majority of Knick fans in that building last night were liberals.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So, no, he would not be getting booed, unfortunately. I mean, you look at terrible. Yeah, thank you, Charles. He's another idiot, Charles. If you look at the video, all the people sitting around him and Jumaane Williams, they're going nuts with him. Me, I would have punched him across the face. I would have thrown him over the rafter. Would have been like an old Ranger Islander fight. Just start punching him like Nick Vitieu. These fans are like, yeah, Mr. Mayor, how about our Knicks? Yeah.
So what happens? Does he reach out and want tickets, or does
I don't know.
Go to him?
No, I mean, those are not from the Garden. Those were terrible seats.
Okay, well, however, he didn't.
I don't know how he got them. I have no idea.
I'm sure someone offered it to him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Have to be.
Yeah. I see those videos, and I almost want to stop rooting for the team. It's not the team's fault. I get it. Be quiet. I get it.
The association.
Just the association, right.
That's what it is.
But that's how much I hate this guy. Like, Vicky Palladino, God bless her, Scott Lebedo, his sculpture this week, the big middle finger, that was great. I'm not the only person in New York City that is critical of the mayor. I know that. I just don't know anybody else who does it 4 hours a day and really has the disdain. Mine is authentic, original. I really hate the guy. I really do. And don't forget that Vicky is a great fighter, Italian. Scott Lebedo is a great fighter, Italian. Not that Italians don't love the Jewish people, right? Like John Catsimatidis, he loves the Jewish people. President Trump, who's been better to the Jewish people than President Trump? Nobody. But when that idiot rabbi in the Satmar community, Moshe Indig, brought up Katz and Trump as to why I should not criticize him for hanging out with Mamdani, I'm like, listen, buddy, last I checked, they're wonderful people. John, Trump, Lebedo, Vicky, wonderful people. And they love the Jewish people, but they're not Jewish. I remember going down to Florida and doing my shows on 9/11. And I remember saying the first year I was there, that was a national disaster. People died in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. People died at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. But I must tell you that for me, and the stats bear this, 3,000 people died, 2,900 plus were here in New York. So I would say on the air in Florida, it was very personal to us here in New York. They knocked those buildings down, and again, over 2,900 of 3,000 died here. And the Florida listeners would get furious with me. Oh, Sid, it's all about you in New York. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, it is. It's the same thing with this. If you're not Jewish, you just can't feel that way. I mean, is that unfair to say, no?
Right, you got to sort of walk in the shoes.
Right. So Moshe Indig is an idiot. Mamdani, we know about him. He's just an anti-Semite and a liar and a fool. And I still love the Knicks, and I'm not about to move just yet. What would make me move away from the Knicks? Like with Mamdani, the last straw was Mr. and Mrs. Met, which is really immature, but I own it. What would make me move away from the Knicks? Dolan would never be caught, I don't think at least, hugging or shaking this creep's hand.
Well, if he did some kind of presentation.
At the Garden?
Yes.
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
going
but
from
even
backwards.
that. What if like if he was hugging Brunson?
Right. Okay.
That would hurt.
One.
Yeah, that would be a big problem.
I can see that happening.
High-fiving.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yes.
Brunson probably likes him.
Yeah.
Like these Knick players, they probably like this guy.
They do.
What do you mean they do? How do you know?
I know.
I guarantee you Mitchell Robinson doesn't like him. Because I think Mitch is on my side, just so you know.
All right. I would
think
imagine
so.
the rest of them are all.
They like him?
Mom Donnie fans, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Josh Hart.
Look, as I'm talking about it right now, Mamdani and Jumani attend Knicks.
Oh, they're way up.
I mean, they got the worst seats in the place.
Well,
look how far up they are smiling in this picture. Two losers. Oh my God, two douchebags.
It looks like they're in a suite of some sort.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not a suite. Look where they are right now. That's in the stands.
They're in the stands.
They're in the stands, about as high up as you can get.
Yeah,
Those are the blue seats.
Wow.
Yeah, that shows you
Weird.
that. Yeah, it shows you that he's not all that welcome there. But I think you're right, Noam. Excuse me. In that, God, I got horrible indigestion, and I got at least 2 cavities. I was drinking cold water moments ago, and my right tooth on the upper right side of my mouth is like.
Oh no!
So I think I've got 1, maybe 2 cavities, and I mean, I needed a cleaning anyway, but now I think I've got real issues. And the last thing I'm in the mood for is to sit there and get some root canal done.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It takes a
Oh, it's not the worst. I mean,
That's pretty bad.
Joey Jones lost his legs in
All
Afghanistan.
right, I get it. Yeah.
Take it easy.
You're not falling down a manhole.
Right. That poor lady. You know, Joey Jones actually re-enlisted this week. Did you see that story? You know Joey from Fox News, brave guy, lost his legs,
Yes.
great guy. He re-enlisted this week with the Marines. He's 41 years old, something like that. I don't know. Oh, talking about 41, that reminds me. Kyle Busch, dead at the age of 41. Now, I'm not the biggest NASCAR fan. I did tell you guys many times that years ago when I started my sports talk career, late 1990s, Sportsline USA down in Florida with Scott Kaplan, we actually had to cover a lot of race events. So, for example, that's when Jeff Gordon was the king of NASCAR. That's when Ari Luyendyk was the king of Indy. That's when John Force was the king of funny cars. And I know what I'm talking about because I just reeled up those 3 names with no issue. So we interviewed a lot of these people. And I know that Kyle won the NASCAR championship twice. When I covered it, it was called the Winston Cup. I guess it's called the NASCAR championship now. But at any rate, 41 years old. Do we know what he died from, though?
We don't. The only thing that the family has said is he had some sort of severe illness. And that they're not saying a whole lot more. But, he's supposed to race this weekend, I think.
He just won 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He just won.
So this obviously came out of nowhere, whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh, my tooth is killing me. Can we get a dentist in here and I'll tape some interview and could he do it in like 12 minutes?
Of course. They're all over the area. Yes.
And I got to run to Rockland County today to see President Trump. Thanks to the king of Rockland County, Mr. Salt, or amazing Congressman Mike Lawler, who's going to join me live this morning, coming up at 8:30. But even when I go outside and the wind hits my tooth, it bothers it.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not?
No. When was the last time you went to the dentist?
I got to be honest, like 18 months.
Yeah.
I go for teeth cleanings all the time. I'm very, me with hygiene. I won't even make duty outside my house. I shower 3 times a day. And I never have bad breath or my teeth are always clean. Like, I'm crazy about all these things. You know that. But I don't know. I think I'm close to death. Again, here we go.
Maybe it's all those M&Ms.
That's what it is.
That you eat.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Now, I stopped eating those.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, I've lost 11 pounds the last 2 months. You know that. I look great. So I don't eat M&Ms in the morning anymore. You guys know.
Well, first thing you hit when go through that kitchen is you peruse all of the.
Yes.
Okay, they got this.
But I don't
here.
eat any of it. The only thing I do eat now these days from the kitchen, and they're all great in there. Joe Parisi. Who's that lovely girl in there? I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh, she's the best one here. African-American girl. I love her. She's great. So I eat the animal crackers, but the chocolate ones, because they're not bad for you. A little bit of honey, you're good to go. Otherwise, I've been staying away for the last month or so from M&Ms and all that other candy. But it doesn't matter. I think the damage is already done, right?
Yeah.
Sure. It's over.
What do you mean it's over?
I meant you're going to be fun.
What's the matter with you?
Of course. Why would I say such a thing?
Wow.
That room is dangerous. There's fruit. That's good. But everything else
It's just like 80% of the stuff in there is horrible for you.
Yeah, it's like pop. I mean, it's great if you love that stuff, but it's like Pop-Tarts and cereal and chips. Yeah.
Chips and yeah.
Well, take a look at the people that work here. Let's be honest. I mean, the girls, the sales girls are actually good shape. They're cute. They're in good shape.
Well, they stay away, probably.
But the guys that work here are just, they're a mess. Let's be honest. You don't get a lot of Sid Rosenbergs in radio. So I try to stay away from it, but it looks like I've already got this this tooth issue. So,
well, that's the karma.
It may be
making
two.
Fun of everybody else,
I know.
eh?
Yeah. Well, her name is Jasmine. Joe Parisi just texted me. She's awesome. We love you, Jasmine.
She is excellent.
Yeah. So I'm going to Rockland County. It'll be the first time a sitting president speaks up there since Gerald Ford did it. You believe that? All the way back in 1976. It's been 50 years. 50! Since a sitting president spoke in Rockland County, and Trump is doing it today. Now, he is going to speak on the economy, but he's really coming to endorse Mike Lawler. So I called Mike, you know this, Noam, and called him yesterday, and I said, listen, there's like 6,000 people coming to this. In the last 2 days, I've gotten about 100 texts. Oh, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and let's grab a picture with the president. And I'm like, Mike, how's this going to happen? If you think I'm going to sit in one of these chairs inside that auditorium at the Rockland Community College, you're out of your mind. I don't have to go. I text Trump. He called me up on stage at the White House. I don't need to go. He said, Sid, calm down. Remember, I'm the guy who got you tickets for the State of the Union this year, and you didn't come. Yeah, I didn't come because there was a blizzard, dickhead. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know. I got mad. I couldn't get there. They canceled my Amtrak train that morning. You guys remember? I shouldn't call Mike a dickhead. I actually love Mike, but at any rate, he goes, I got you. You have a chair with your name on it. I go, oh, wow. That's great. So that means that, I'll be sitting somewhere by the front. All the politicians, I would imagine people like Nicole Maliotakis and Nick LaLota, Garbarino, all of his Congress people. And then Bruce Blakeman's going to be there, obviously. Trump loves him, too, running for governor. But there will be a chair, Noam, with Sid Rosenberg on it.
Now, is this on the dais where the president's going to be?
I don't know if there is a dais.
Oh.
I don't know how this room is set up. Maybe it's the first 2 or 3 rows with 5,000 people behind us.
Right.
Maybe it's on the stage behind the president.
Well, that's where you want to be.
Either way, I know I'll get a handshake and a picture and all that with President Trump because Lawler will make it happen, and Trump loves me, so I'm not going out there today and just standing online like everybody else. They got people showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning. He's not going to speak until 3. I spoke for him at Madison Square Garden. This is why I continue to have issue with showing up on Tuesday night outside of Gracie Mansion. This is why. I got a chair with my name on it today. How many of the speakers that'll be outside with bullhorns on Tuesday night have that, no?
None.
0. How many of those speakers spoke at Madison Square Garden for President Trump?
That would be 0.
How many of those speakers did President Trump call up on stage in front of thousands of people at the White House on Hanukkah?
Zippo.
So what am I doing?
Yeah. Why? Are you reconsidering going to this thing?
Yeah, I'm kind of reconsidering it. I don't know.
Are they putting pressure on you to show up?
There's no pressure. I get these Instagram messages, but I just don't read them, so I don't care. There's been really no pressure. I saw that Brooke Goldstein, she's in charge of all this. She's terrific. She's a great attorney. She was on this show a couple days ago. She put this whole thing together. And she put up a really nice picture of her and I. But the interview, she posted the interview from a couple of days ago. And then I start to feel badly for some reason. I don't know why, but.
Well, you might lose her as a friend. It's the fact that you committed to the event and now you're pulling out.
I've spoken to her twice in my whole life. I don't know.
Oh. All right, so maybe it doesn't matter.
Not exactly close.
Oh, okay.
I do like her, respect her, and think she's terrific, but I don't. Maybe even once I spoke to her.
Have you told her that you're thinking about not showing
Yeah.
up? And what did she say?
She thought it was selfish.
Oh, that's what she said?
She said, with love, this is not about you, Sid. It's about defeating the extremists. But she sold it to me.
It's a good comeback on her part.
I know, it's pretty good. I know. But she sold it to me different than what it was. I told her when she called me. I told her, I'm not doing this with a bunch of social influencers. I like them. They're nice people. But no, I'm not doing it. No, that's not what this is. It's exactly what it is. There's like 25 of them. Not even 3 or 4, like 25 of them. And some guy with 2.5 million followers who I've never heard of. So now I look like the dick. I know that. Oh, Sid thinks he's too good for us. And to a certain extent, that's true. I was expecting 3 or 4 speakers with some real power. You know what I mean?
It makes sense to me.
Including Brooke. I believe Brooke is a powerful, smart young lady. But when you start there with people on there who I see on Instagram every day since October the 7th who have made zero difference, zero. In fact, it's gone backwards for the Jews in this city. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I speak to millions of people a week on this station, right? I mean, I'm invited from the State Department to the White House. All these things. I'm going to stand in the street on Tuesday night. How can I possibly do that, Lewis? How can I possibly do that?
I would say no, especially with 2 cavities.
I may have at least 2. I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, to be up there in pain, that's not
Well,
good.
I'm in pain right now. So I wanted to go away before I see the president this afternoon, but what is this? Dentist, go see Joel across the street in the Atlas Rockefeller building where Ralph's coffee truck is parked.
Oh, that sounds like a good place.
Yeah,
to go.
That's great.
I have a great dentist. He's down in, we all use the same dentist. Danielle got it for us, my beautiful wife. Me, Danielle, Ava, and Gabriel in Tribeca. We've been using the Tribeca Dental Group for like 10 years since we moved back to New York. The kids' pediatricians were down there in Tribeca. My dentist is still there. But I just, once I get on the train and start heading that direction, I just want to go home. But now I've definitely screwed up because I'm in a considerable amount of pain.
Well, I think you have an out then for the Monday thing and you can't go today.
Well, it's Tuesday. Monday's Memorial Day.
Yeah, right.
So it's Tuesday. But the problem is the very next night, Wednesday night, I'm being honored as part of the Manhattan Jewish Experience. Me, Bruce Pearl, Erin Molan from Australia. I love her. Emily Austin. And I'm definitely going to that.
Right, but here's your out, right? You can't go today because you're going to the president. You have to leave here and go there.
That's right.
They're not going to be open Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's a holiday weekend, right?
That's right.
So the next time they're open is on Tuesday, which unfortunately falls at the exact same time as this speaking engagement. So you're going to have to tell them you can't come.
7 o'clock at night at the dentist?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there it is.
Or you'll have Novocaine. You won't be able to speak.
But don't you think somebody heard this just now and is going to go back to them and say...
Very possibly, yeah.
I don't even know if I could wait till Tuesday. Like, I am in considerable pain right now.
Well, you better go today because nobody's around on the weekend.
I can't go today.
You don't want the emergency.
I have to go
guys.
directly to Rockland County to see. I'm not missing President Trump.
Right.
A leg can fall off. My penis can fall off.
Yeah.
I need to see President Trump.
But you don't want a weekend dentist. You know what I mean?
No, you don't want that.
Yeah, you want the guy who works Monday to Friday.
It's going to be tough to find a quick doctor for the penis, though, too. Before you get up there.
I'm begging you.
Somebody text me for a penis guy, and then I can get fixed and get up.
Any other stories going on in the city besides that loser mayor at the Knick game last night? Has he done anything else this week that is worthy of
the mayor himself?
Compliments? Yeah, something.
He's doing this World Cup ticket giveaway. Well, it's not really a giveaway.
Well, that's only
it's
one.
Well,
he's a big soccer fan. I know that. He's from Uganda. So I know he does love soccer. And all he talked about was how the administration, they've overpriced this so that everyday working people that he cares so much about, everyday working people can't afford to go. So he's made a big deal about this for a while now. So I guess he made that happen?
Yeah, he got the host committee in New York, New Jersey to give up 1,000 tickets, and so he's going to sell them for $50 a piece. And on Monday, that's when the lottery opens. And it'll include, because the ride there is so expensive to MetLife, it'll include a free ride to the stadium for whatever game it's for. So 1,000 tickets, $50 each. The first 1,000, I guess, to get involved in this lottery will get them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what he's done well?
Well, if you're a soccer fan, I guess that's a good thing.
Is Ken Griffin getting soccer tickets? Maybe that'll coax him to stay here. I don't know. Build his project on Park Avenue if the mayor gives him cheap soccer tickets. Is that all he's done? Is that it? Anything else?
That might have been the big event of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. What was Jamie Dimon talking about? Jamie Dimon goes back and forth. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of J.P. Morgan.
Sure.
One day it seems like he wants to work with Mamdani. The next day he just wants to level Mamdani. I don't know. He's a weird guy. I remember a couple of weeks ago we had Larry Kudlow on this show, and he blasted Jamie Dimon because Jamie's been saying that Trump and Iran is going to send us right towards a recession. And Kudlow started bashing Jamie Dimon on this show. You guys remember that? About 2 weeks ago? He's like, Jamie doesn't know anything. He has no idea what he's talking about. All the economic indicators, from the stock market to interest rates, all the economic indicators say that the economy is on the rebound. It's not just about gas prices. So Kudlow went roughshod on Jamie Dimon. But Dimon yesterday, now once again, he's anti-Mamdani. He goes back and forth and back and forth. So he says yesterday, I don't care what the mayor says, it's what he does. So here he is, the CEO of J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, Lewis. This would be cut number 7.
What does he do? I don't care what he says. What does he do? I will judge that. And so will what actually happens, because you can talk about morality and ideology all you want, but if things don't get better, you didn't do a good job. And in my view, and I'm talking about him now, I have seen mayors who make statements and they make it worse and worse and worse. You know, and they don't know, they can't get into details of why is affordable housing not there anymore? Why does this not work? You know, and so hopefully he'll learn. I want him to do a good job. I'm not against him.
I am. I hate him, Jamie Dimon. Number 8 here, Jamie brings up Ken Griffin. This is J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, cut number 8.
So what do you make of the beef Mamdani has with Ken Griffin? I mean, there's been a lot of pushback as well from...
My view is, I didn't speak to him about that. I think he realized he made a mistake in naming Ken, vilifying a name and a person. And, my grandparents were all Greek immigrants, okay? You know, I've been working my ass off now for a long time. I think vilifying people, simplifying arguments, you know, even if you think it's politically is a bad idea. And I think he probably realizes that was a bad idea. It's probably why he's seen a bunch of us now. You know, I'd like to maybe have a better relation with the business community.
So as you know, these other cities, and Noam, you've covered this, are wooing the stock market. Miami, and the big one is Dallas. Texas really wants the market. And Dimon talked about how individual taxes and corporate taxes have helped J.P. Morgan grow, and Dallas is aware of that, and they want to help. So this is Jamie Dimon on the possibility that the market moves to Dallas. At least they want us. This is cut number 9.
You know, in my letter, I pointed out that these are just numbers. J.P. Morgan, when I got there, had 35,000 employees in New York City, and now it's 26,000. We had 12,000 in Texas, and now it's 33,000. That is because of individual taxes, corporate taxes, state taxes, but also the schools in Dallas. They've become very good. The life in Dallas. You know, the Dallas mayor calls up all the time saying, what can I do to help you? I have land over here. I have, and that is pro-business and people love living there. And that's what New York City, now New York's a wonderful place too, but that is the result.
All right, that was Jamie Dimon, the CEO of J.P. Morgan. We got a lot of great guests today, a lot of things to cover.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Is it a big news story in the city today? No, I don't see it in a lot of places. I'm not really talking much about it, that Trump is coming to town. In fact, I did notice this on your top 5 stories at 5 a.m. because I listen to your show religiously. Because you are great. Your show's great. You did not even have President Trump, first president to speak in Rockland County in 50 years since Gerald Ford. It didn't even make your top 5.
It did not. No, it did not.
Well,
but
why wouldn't
I
it make
talked
the top
about
5?
it because you have to be very special to make my top 5.
The president is not special?
There's a whole consultation. We have a board meeting over it every morning before we pick our top 5. And, everybody weighs in. And nobody agreed that he should make the top 5. So they didn't put him in.
So you're on your toilet in Jersey City making a duty at about 2 o'clock in the morning. You come up with this top 5 list. No one else gets involved in this discussion because if they did, they would tell you that the president in town is worthy of top 5.
Yeah, well, I talked about
What were the
it.
top
Just
five
to make the
stories?
top
I want to
five.
hear. I want to hear the top five right now.
Well, I try
The
to
Knickerbockers.
take,
I'm okay with.
I like to have a little, a titillating top five so people will hang out.
Just give me the damn stories.
I have to find it. Hold on a second.
I remember being disappointed. I have to be honest. I'm like,
in
really?
my top five today. I mean, every day is not great, but
No, every day is great, but you got to find a way to get Trump in the top five. He's in New York.
People have to understand that this show at 5 o'clock I do entirely by myself.
Listen,
Nobody else.
I'm not going to keep flattering you and telling you how great your show is.
Right.
It is great, but this was a glaring, obvious omission.
Okay.
So what were the top five?
What can you play the top five and I'll just
play the.
I can.
Okay. Hang on. I was looking for the top five myself too.
You were okay.
In case. Okay.
All right. Let me point at you like I always do at
Okay.
5:01.
This is the top
I can't wait.
5 at 5.
Well, it's not 5 though. It's 7. Fine.
Well, whatever.
Go ahead.
How many cavities do you have?
I think 2.
Jeez.
Go ahead.
I got to start again because now I'm confused where I am.
Play
Okay,
it again,
ready?
Lou. All right.
This is the top 5 at 5.
Another great night for New York Knicks fans.
Okay.
A mysterious substance has killed 3 in New Mexico.
There you go. Like right off the bat. Who cares about people in
You
Albuquerque?
kidding? People they're trying to figure out the story. It's
Nobody
a crazy
cares.
story.
Nobody cares. Nobody knows it's Albuquerque. Now, if 3 people were killed by a mysterious substance in Brooklyn, that would work. So
Wait,
right
so-
off the bat, your number 2
No,
story.
wait a second.
You're
No,
going to
let
put
me-
that ahead of Trump in New
Yes,
York?
because
that some guy died in Albuquerque?
No, because I'm teasing a story. It's a mysterious substance. So
Yeah.
people are like, wait a minute.
No people
I
are.
better hang out to find out what that
No.
mysterious substance is.
Not even one person
If I
did
said
that.
President Trump's in Rockland County, you'd be like, yeah, okay.
No, they'd be like, how do I get tickets? They'd be like,
No.
oh, my God, who
No,
do
they
I call? Can Sid get me in? There would be a reaction right away. Some guy in Albuquerque, God rest his soul. Nobody in New
You know
York
what?
cares.
You can get your own 5 o'clock show and do your own headlines, all right?
Good one.
Don't threaten me. I'll go 5 to 10 in 2 seconds. What's the number 3 story?
Oh, hold on. I need that. Shh.
No, give him the. He needs that.
There we go. Murder in Queens has cops baffled.
Okay.
What do texts look at when they're
What are you asking me a question?
Yes.
What kind of craziness is this?
Well,
just report the news. Don't ask me any questions.
Well, I'm asking a question that I'm going to answer during the course of the show.
What's the question?
What do texts look at when they're repairing your laptop?
I have a question for you.
Hold
Why
a
isn't
second.
Trump in the top 5? God
You may
damn
be
it.
surprised.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't care. What else? Two of these stories you can wipe your ass with.
And this was your favorite story of the morning.
Yeah.
This coming wet weekend may be a perfect to learn an ancient game that has caught on.
Mahjong.
Yeah.
I already got text messages from Luke Pettigrew, the former Giant offensive lineman. He says that many Sundays before the game, the Giants would prepare for their opponent by playing Mahjong.
Right. So you were suggesting that the game was either gay or a female game. Well, that proves otherwise, no?
No, because I don't think Luke Pettigrew is being honest. I have a friend, Jitlada Tom, Taiwanese, loves Mahjong. But those are 3 of those stories are just beyond ridiculous.
No.
Some
couldn't
guy
disagree with
died
you
in
more.
Albuquerque, and Yentas are playing Mahjong?
Yes. Well,
and that belongs ahead of President Trump?
I didn't say Mahjong because I want to give away the story. It was called a tease.
Oh, I know. It was so good once you said that.
And
I don't know what to
people
do.
will hold on to the very last minute to hear these stories.
No. They will hold on all seriousness because you're great, and your show is great, and you deliver the news so well. I don't think anybody in this city even comes close at this point. And I'm not patronizing you. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I mean that sincerely. I've told Ben Meverak that at 1010 News. Scott Stanford can boast about the ratings all he wants, and I love Scott. Entertaining guy, cute guy, a lot of fun. He's not half the news person you are. Not half. But those 3 of those 5 stories never should have been there ahead of President Trump.
No, I couldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, you're better off talking about that stinkhole.
Well, we did that story already yesterday. I'm not going to do it again.
Well, it's still being repaired.
It is, but it's not a headline.
There are airlines falling into the ground.
The stories, they have to make the headlines. And like I said, it's very involved.
It's got to be
process.
Albuquerque. I get it. To make the headlines in New York, it's got to happen in New Mexico.
No, it has to be a story that people will hang around to hear. They may not have heard about already. There you go.
All right, thank you for that.
Of course.
At any rate, I do believe Trump should have been number 1, Nick's number 2. After that, I don't care. But we have great guests stopping by: George Santos, KT McFarland, Mike Lawler, Arthur Aidala, Colonel Jack Jacobs. And coming up next, this is big news. No, this could have made the top 5. You know what we're kicking off here on this station this weekend?
Worldwide news.
Right. of which I know nothing about, nothing. But I see my friend Lee Harris talking about great 10-10 wins voices. He is probably the best ever there. He's walking around every day, and I'm not even sure why.
He's just scaring everybody.
Right, but I guess he's starting this news network.
He's just up and down the hall like...
People start to quiver in the news when he walks in here. Yeah.
He starts to look in here. I'm like, what does he want exactly? What?
He goes, all right, you'll stay, you'll gone, and okay, you stay.
But I am curious.
The tribe has spoken.
No, I'm actually interested to hear what this news network is all about. You know, there's like this constant battle at this station. Because I'm not, we're not a news show here. We've got news, and we cover the biggest stories, and Noam is great. But this is a talk show. You want news, go listen to 10-10 Wins, and they'll give you the same story every 15 minutes over and over and over and over again. There's very little entertainment value. Here, this is a tremendous variety show. But I guess we are adding some type of news, this worldwide news network. I don't know much about it, I'll be honest. So I'm actually excited to hear from Lee Harris what's about to happen. And he's great. So if he's going to do it, it's going to be terrific. So we'll talk to Lee Harris coming up next.
This is Sid on Sports. Sponsored by Peerless Boilers on 77 WABC.
Justin Alec here with your sports update, sponsored by Pete Morgan and Peerless Boilers. Go to peerlessboilers.com to find a dealer near you. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. Started at the Garden. Josh Hart scored a playoff career high, 26 points. Jalen Brunson had 19 points and 14 assists. The Knicks moved halfway to their first NBA Finals appearance since 1999 by beating the Cavaliers 109-93 for a 2-0 series lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Mikal Bridges also scored 19 points, and Karl Anthony Towns had 18 points and 13 rebounds to help the Knicks win their 9th straight game. It's the NBA's longest postseason winning streak since the Boston Celtics won 10 straight on their way to the 2024 championship. Game 3 is scheduled for tomorrow night as the series gets set to move to Cleveland. Tonight on the hardwood, 8:30 p.m., the Western Conference Finals picks up with Game 3. Their series knotted at a game apiece between the Thunder and the Spurs. Game 3 will be out in San Antonio, and the Spurs head in as 1.5-point home favorites. Inside of the Diamond in Washington, Bo Bichette hit a 2-run single. David Peterson earned his first victory as a starter this season, and the Mets beat the Nationals 2-1 to earn a 4-game series split. New York avoided its first 3-game skid since April the 24th to the 26th, and winning for the 7th time in 10 games. Bichette hit .389. That's 7 for 18 with 3 homers and 9 RBI in the series. Up next for the Mets, Freddie Peralta starts the opener of a 3-game set at Miami tonight. First pitch there scheduled for 7:10 p.m. In the Bronx, Yankees got shut out 2-0 by the Blue Jays in the finale of a 4-game series there, splitting the series 2 games apiece. Aaron Judge went 0 for 4, was 1 for 15 in the series, has not homered or driven in a run in 10 games since May 10th at Milwaukee. That streak without an RBI matches the worst of his career, done 3 times previously for the Yankee captain. New York dropped 4.5 games behind the Rays in the AL East. They lost for the 9th time in 13 games, heading into Garrett Cole's return from reconstructive elbow surgery in the opener of a 3-game series against Tampa Bay tonight, set for a 7:05 p.m. first pitch there. And a little Ferry Hawks update as well. Continue hosting the Lancaster Stormers through the weekend after falling 6-5 in a nail-biter yesterday in the 3rd game of a 6-game series against Lancaster. So if you're heading out to Staten Island for some baseball this weekend, tonight you get a 7 p.m. first pitch. Tomorrow, that's a matinee, 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and Sunday afternoon at 1:30 there for your Staten Island Ferry Hawks. And we'll end with some sad news out of the world of NASCAR here. NASCAR legend Kyle Busch, a 2-time Cup champion and all-time wins leader across the Sports National Series, died yesterday at the age of 41. NASCAR and the Busch family announced he passed from a severe illness after being hospitalized earlier in the day. No specific cause was given for his death. That is your sports, sponsored by Pete Morgan and Peerless Boilers. Go to peerlessboilers.com to find a dealer near you. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. I'm Justin Alec on 77 WABC.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I'm reading a text here from Luke Pettigrew, the former great offensive lineman of the New York Football Giants, number 77.
That is weird to get that kind of text.
I know.
Luke Pettigrew.
Yeah. He goes, I love the show. One day in the near future, we'll speak about the NFL and how they are deliberately denying former players their benefits from the concussion settlement. He's right about that. I talked to a lot of former players. Lots of interesting info that may be worthwhile to talk about. Take care, buddy. Love you. So if you're still listening, Luke, I love you too. I really do. You're great. And we will have that conversation as we draw nearer to the NFL season. we did find out, was it yesterday, the day before, that Aaron Rodgers will be back for year number 22, his last season. He's already decided to quit after this year. But he'll spend his last season playing for Mike McCarthy, who he spent 13 seasons playing for with the Green Bay Packers, winning his only Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, NFL, trust me, folks, right around the corner. Thank you, Luke. Lee Harris, Hall of Famer, legendary, iconic voice of 1010 Wins, now our teammate here, colleague here. And we're starting something this week, and we've been talking about, and you folks have heard about it, the Worldwide News Network. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm glad you're here to tell us, Lee. First of all, good morning. How are you?
I'm pretty good so far, but I will still be here 24 hours from now. So this is going to be a push through to get the Worldwide News Network on the air.
So you're not going to leave at all? You're not going to go home at all? Or
I will not.
24 straight hours. Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. You've done that before, I'm sure. A
couple of times.
Like 9/11. I know guys like I think he stayed on the air for 24 straight hours. But this is important stuff. So why will you be here for 24 hours? What exactly can WABC fans expect to hear?
At midnight tonight, we're going to launch our national news network. Of course, you can hear WABC on the internet all over the world. But what we will be doing now is supplying news to other radio stations all around the country and eventually all around the world. It'll be a 3 to 4 minute news capsule, depending on which station you're listening to, of world and national news. And what this is meant to do is to replace the CBS radio network, which goes out of business tonight, 11:31 p.m. After 99 years in the radio business. We both used to work for CBS. I think it was an okay company.
Pretty good.
Back when we worked for it.
I still like it. I think Barry Weiss is the future. She's our only hope. She's decided that it's just not making any money, I guess. I don't know why she got rid of it.
Is also the issue. They want to be in the subscription business. They want you to buy a season of Yellowstone rather than having to go out and chase advertisers to support the programming. They'll just sell it to you direct. They'll cut out the middleman and pass the savings on to you. In this case, the entire radio news division. So we're going to pick up that mantle. We think it's a good business. We think people want it. On WABC, you will hear the national news for 3 minutes at the top of every hour, followed by local news here. So you'll get 6 minutes of news at the top of the hour to set up the talk shows like yours so people know what's going on.
I'm not doing 6 minutes of news. You're out of your mind.
Well,
nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear me. But the rest of the day, it works.
Yes, that's right. We have day parting considerations in your case. It is actually different in the morning.
It's different in the morning. But this is really cool. So you're telling me, Lee, the great Lee Harris, there'll be a station, this is hypothetical, in Dallas, in Miami, in St. Louis, in Sacramento, that we're going to provide the news for?
That is exactly what we will be doing.
Wow. That's a big, 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 big deal.
And
I had no idea.
By the way, we have hired many of the people that CBS just fired.
Really?
Yes.
To do the news?
Yes.
Give me one name.
Well, Michael Wallace will be on in the morning.
Michael Wallace.
Not to be confused with Mike Wallace.
No. He's not going to be doing news anytime soon.
Bill Rakoff, Cooper Lawrence, Matt Piper. These are all voices that were heard on the CBS radio network. Monica Ricks. And also, a few others who have come in and are of that same network quality.
So how many people have we hired to do the news for the network?
I think we're up to 18 so far.
No kidding. And have you been doing most of those hires?
I have done each and every one, yes.
Each and every one.
They have to go upstairs to be
right,
signed
of course,
off
John
on.
and Chad. But any of your former 1010 Wins teammates get
Let's
involved?
see. I don't think we... Yeah, no, there were a couple who I worked with at Wins at one time.
Can you get John Montone back? I just like John Montone. I don't know why I love that guy. I love him.
Well,
he was the best reporter 1010 Wins ever had, ever.
Not quite the sound I was going for.
Yeah, I understand. This is very exciting stuff. Lou, did you realize this is a big deal?
I'm changing my plans tonight, actually.
No, but I'm serious that we're actually going to be providing news across the country. That's great.
Yes, and to big radio stations.
Really?
Eventually. And also to small. We're not discriminating in that regard. If the station in Open Pants, Nebraska wants to be an affiliate, we will sign them up.
Open Pants, Nebraska.
Never been there?
Is that an actual town?
It is not.
How about Intercourse, Pennsylvania?
There I have been.
Blue Balls, Pennsylvania.
Not too far away.
Mm-hmm. So it all kicks off at 12:01 tomorrow morning.
12 o'clock straight up.
Straight up. And you'll be hearing news from us all over the country.
Michael Wallace, even though it's not his regular shift, will be coming in to do the lead-off newscast.
And how many stations will we be on tonight when it kicks off?
Oh, I believe several dozen by the time
Is
all
that
is said
right?
and done. Yes.
Well, congratulations.
But most importantly, we will clear on a top-rated station in the number one market in the country on day one. That would be this one.
Amazing. I got to tell you, man, I had no idea how big this was. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being dead serious. Congratulations to you and John Katsimatidis and Chad Lopez and all the folks that put this together. This is a very big deal for us. All this does for us is show the rest of the world how good we are and how we could deliver not just entertaining talk shows like this one, but straight-up news all over the world.
And John Katsimatidis wants to tell the story of America, the correct story of America, to the world. And eventually, this will be done through the Worldwide News Network.
The Worldwide News Network, I would imagine one day. We'll replace the BBC too, right?
Oh, yes. And by eventually, I mean pretty soon.
Pretty soon. Well, congratulations, Lee.
Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, the outlets that used to tell the story to the world, and not in a propagandistic manner, just the facts.
Yeah.
I go to Europe all the time. I'm astonished by the things I hear from educated people there. What they don't know. They think that poor people don't have health care and die in the streets. They don't understand that New York City alone has 23 hospitals for the indigent. And some of them you want to go to, depending on your problem, even if you can afford better. If you ever get a sucking gunshot wound to the chest, ask them to take you to Kings County Hospital. They know what to do about that.
They do. No, you're right. Well, they get
New
a
York
lot of those.
Presbyterian, not so much.
Right. Go there for other stuff. You're right. Are you going to do any of the news yourself? Because you still have the pipes, man. You still sound great. Great.
I might have promised the management that I'd come on one time a day. I'm hoping they forgot about that.
No, you should be on.
Got a lot of admin work to do.
But you sound great still. You should be on a little bit. And people know the name Lee Harris all over the country.
I'll pop in now and again.
All right, super. Well, congratulations. Honestly, this is a great, great job you guys have done. And it's exciting for WABC and all these affiliates around the country. Lee Harris, congratulations.
Thank you, Sid. Means a lot coming from you.
Thank you. I love Lee Harris. My 1 year at 1010 Wins, which I've talked about many, many times, Lee Harris was so good to me. And I was so nervous. Lee and Judy DeAngelis and the whole crew, Ben Meverak. But he was terrific. And he really is, all kidding aside, one of the all-time great news voices.
Walking in nervous with all
Oh,
those
come
people.
on.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I'm doing sports my whole life. I'm walking into 1010 Wins with these people. And what happened was they built this little thing for me in my den in Boca Raton, Florida. So I did the entire year on 1010 Wins from Florida. I wasn't
so you
there.
didn't see them?
No, I did. So they wanted me to start the first week by meeting them and, went out for lunch, got to know them because, as you know, even though you're on the air, you have to kind of form that relationship.
Yes.
So my first week at 1010 Wins, I was here. The same building on Hudson Street, right down the hallway from WFAN. And I knew that place very, very well. It's literally on the same floor.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I'm used to going left to talk sports. Now I make a right turn to talk news, and I was scared to death.
Well, here's the question: how were they to you? How was everybody?
Very nice. Okay. Lee was great. Judy was great. Right. Okay. But it was still different for me, and I wasn't very good at it. I'll be honest. I really wasn't.
Okay. Did they look at you and go like, "Why is
100%.
Why is he here?"
But they figured out very, very quickly that A, I had a huge loyal audience, and B, what I was able to do, which Ben Meverak and Mark Chernoff loved, was bring in money. No disrespect to Mark Renee in that spot, but all of a sudden, New York businesses started calling and saying, I want to hop on with Sid. So SodaStream just started back then. Nice. They hopped on, and 1-800-Flowers and Pajamagram. So all of my sports updates were sponsored, and they were making pretty good money. So the fact that I got a lot of stuff wrong, I told you this before, I'd say, and the Mets get set to host the Pirates tonight. Now I'm in Boca. I get a text 2 seconds later. No, right. Sid, they're in Pittsburgh. And I hate to tell you this, but you're on in New York, you need to know this. I'm like, I'm sorry, Ben. And then I would do it again the very next day. But the
that's not like you.
No, that's not like back then. It was different. It was now I'm a lot different. But back then I was, like I said, I was nervous. It was early in the morning. I'm in my den in Boca, all by myself
on winds
on the way to somewhere in Miami to do my midday show, the actual local midday show. It was a wild time, and I did all that because Chernoff thought that was the best way to get me back into the CBS family to eventually get me back to WFAN,
We'll see.
which didn't happen.
Oh.
No.
Well, he tried.
He tried. He put me, the summer of 2014, for example, I did 40 shows. I practically lived here. I moved into my sister Ray Shirley Albert's house in Mill Basin. I never went home for the whole summer. I was filling in for Boomer and Craig in the morning with Kim Jones. I was filling in for Joe and Evan in the middays with Mark Malusis. I even filled in a couple of times for Mike Brancesa. I was there basically every day. There was one day, because I did my midday show in Miami from the FAN studios. There was one day where I did the morning show for Boomer and Craig, went into a different studio, hosted my 4-hour local show down in Miami, and then stayed that night to fill in for Damon Amendolara and do the night show on the CBS radio network. 12 hours of live radio in one day. And still broke.
Yeah, not enough.
All right, we got to take a break. Thank you, Lee Harris. Congratulations again to John and Chad and WABC. I really had no idea how big this thing is. It's a big deal. It is a very big deal. The Worldwide News Network all gets going midnight tonight here on WABC.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I think if Democrats took control of the Congress, I think that, and let's say took control of the country, I think that this country's finished. These people are sick. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, but really they have bad policy. They have horrible policy. They cheat on elections. They get elected by cheating on elections. But you would have two states added. They'll terminate the filibuster immediately. Republicans should do that. They'll terminate the filibuster. You'll have Washington, D.C., and you'll have Puerto Rico as a state, which will be a disaster, which would be 4 Senate seats, tremendous numbers of electoral college votes. You will have that's really bad, but you will have the destruction of our country. They want to go to 21 Supreme Court judges. That's their perfect number. They talk about 13. But they want to go to 21 Supreme Court judges. If they get in power, I think this country would be maybe finished.
My friend George Santos, who doesn't realize that of all the people that reached out to President Trump, I know he gives Marjorie credit and these other people, but the reason why he's out of jail today is because of me. But that's okay. George, good morning, buddy. How are you?
How are you, Sid? It's great to be back with you always, my friend. I love your enthusiasm every morning, I gotta say.
Thank you. Are you still listening from down in Florida?
So I've been in Pennsylvania still. We'll be down there only in the winter.
Okay.
So for now we're up here.
Okay, and you want to tell us where in Pennsylvania? Is it a nice area? Or?
A nice area, northeastern Pennsylvania. How about that?
Very nice. Very nice. So do you miss, I know you left Mom Donnie won, and believe me when I tell you that I consider leaving all the time. I mean, the truth is I'm about to extend my deal here, and I love this radio station. I love John. I love Margot. I love Chad, and I love New York. But I watch this mayor operate, and if Bruce loses to Hochul, I consider leaving every day. I can make a lot of money doing this in nice places like Miami. They'd pay me in a heartbeat, or Nashville, or the Carolinas. So I'm still here, but you left. You did leave. Are you happy you left? Or do you miss New York every day?
I'm miserable. I'm miserable at the fact that I had to leave. I love New York City. I'm a New Yorker through and through, Sid. Let's just face it, right? So for me, leaving wasn't lightly. For me, I cannot accept that I have to live under the rule of someone like Zoran Mondami, which, by the way, is going to make life exceedingly worse for New Yorkers if he continues to attack people like Ken Griffin. I don't think he realizes this, and I'm going to say this for people who don't know this. There are 69 human beings in New York State who make up 40% of the tax revenue, and Ken Griffin is one of them. If you start running out these 69 human beings out of the state, you're going to have to take that 40% shortfall and redistribute it amongst the rest of New Yorkers, which, by the way, that's millions of people. 69 people take off 40% of the burden off the backs of millions of New Yorkers. And this is what this idiot mayor keeps doing. So I don't regret leaving, but I resent leaving because I love my city and I love my state. But I unfortunately couldn't bear to sit around and wait to find out what this lunatic was actually going to do.
No, it's going to get a heck of a lot worse. He's only a couple of months into a 4-year deal here. If he doesn't win again, I don't know. I mean, I'm considering running in 2029. I get people every day, from Trump people to my next guest, KT McFarland, you name it. I mean, big-time people that Bruce Blakeman is dying for me to run. But the truth is, I'm not sure if I will, but I don't know if this city is going to make it 4 years, let alone 8 years. And you're talking about, getting people like Ken Griffin to leave, and you left George Santos. He's also anti-cop. We know that. And he is the first mayor who will not be attending the Israeli Day Parade next week. Now, I'm happy about that because I'm watching that parade every year, and he's the last person I want to see. I don't want to see some terrorist lover marching with us as if he cares about the Jewish people. He hates the Jewish people. He hates Israel. I actually applaud him for not coming, but when you think about it, the first mayor not to be at the Israeli Day Parade, it's just another on the list of things that says to you, this guy does not belong being the mayor of this great city.
No, not at all. He lacks the temperament, he lacks the intellectual IQ, and he lacks the political maneuver. Look, I will say this, Bruce Blakeman should be thanking the high heavens today that he is mayor, because he is putting Kathy Hochul in a corner, and she's going super lefty-defty all the way to the left, giving Bruce an opportunity to show her true colors. So he's doing for Bruce what Adams couldn't do for Zeldin. So I think it's a great opportunity, and that I will say this. If we do get Governor Blakeman in New York State, I would send a thank you note and a fruit basket to Zohran Mamdani's office.
I think you're right. So, it's not a secret, George, that a lot of the folks, the politicians on Long Island, had their issues with you, okay? Some of my really close friends. Was Bruce Blakeman one of those guys? How did you guys get along?
Look, I've always gotten along with all of them until it wasn't politically convenient. And I understand. I'm mature enough to understand. Yeah, I get it. Everybody, we were all friends. And then, unfortunately, I was my worst enemy. And I think I've made that abundantly clear here. A lack of self-awareness, a lack of maturity, a lack of responsibility led for me to create those relationships going sour. So I get it. I don't hold it against them. I probably would have done the same thing had the shoe been on the other foot. So politics is a game of, political conveniences, and obviously somebody who's literally a ball of fire falling down, crashing and burning is going to bring anything that attaches itself to it with them. So I don't blame them. And you know what? At the end of the day, we need them to stay in office so that we can maintain majorities in the House. You just heard what President Trump said in that clip you played. He's not wrong. So, no, I get it. It sucks. I did it myself. But I just really wish some of these guys would just forget I exist, because there's no need to keep pounding on me.
Hold on a second. So you're telling me that these guys are still pounding on you still?
Yeah, some of them still are not over it, and I just.
But where do they? I'm just curious. Where do they do that? You're in Pennsylvania. You're not on Long Island, so you're not in the chamber. You mean on Twitter? Where do people go after?
No, it's more like in private circles. They still keep hammering me that I'm a horrible person. I'm like, hey, come on, get over it. I'm not even in your orbit anymore. Go away.
Well, you got to give me one name. Give me one name.
No,
you have to. No, you have to. Don't be a pussy, George. Give me one name. I'll give you the name, and you just say yes. All right.
I'll just give you the name. Nick LaLota just needs to.
Oh, he hates you. Yeah, no, he hates you. Yeah, he hates
me. I get it, and he has all the reason in the world. I supported his primary opponent, and I created a mess, and then he was.
Well, if you want to come back at Nick LaLota, George, I'll give you something right now. He's a very sloppy eater. I have not gone to the Capitol Grill once with Nick LaLota in Washington, D.C., where there's at least cocktail sauce or ketchup or something all over his white dress shirt. So that's your comeback. okay?
You know what? Of all things I could go, I won't even blame him because I'm also somewhat of a zombie.
The truth is, you're both very nice guys. I like Nick a lot, and I like you a lot. You know, you did what you did. You were accountable. You went to prison, and thank God President Trump sent you home. But I think you're a nice guy, and I think you did really take accountability and learn your lesson. But you heard Trump, as you just pointed out. By the way, any of those guys come around? Like one guy that said, "Okay, I was against you, but now I'm for you." Even one?
You know, look, I never say who, but I have resumed.
Well, you got to give me one name.
I can't give you names because it hurts their political careers, and I'm not here for that.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay,
and you
good.
know that.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys have come around, and we've reestablished relationships and communication. You know, and I'm glad for. And some of them are Democrats too, by the way, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is very simple. I have no animosity towards these guys. Maybe if you go on my Twitter, you'll see that the one person I hate these days is John Thune. But that's really about it.
Right.
I just let it go.
Well, you need to explain. You need to explain to the listening audience, and I know why, but why you hate the Senate Majority Leader John Thune so much.
John Thune is not just incompetent; he's irresponsible, and he's gambling with national security right now. Recessing the Senate for a month and not passing any kind of reconciliation to fund DHS, which means CBP and ICE, in the middle of a worldwide event, which is FIFA World Cup, that's starting soon, okay? We're going to be seeing millions upon millions of people entering our nation. We're going to see gatherings of tens of thousands around stadiums and hundreds of thousands conglomerated in cities of those host games. And we are not paying our CBP, our ICE, and DHS has a shortfall in funding. That is criminal behavior, exposing us to mass amounts of national security risks, especially taking into the account that we've had 20-plus million people enter this country unvetted during the regime of the autopen, Joe Biden. And then on top of it all, he doesn't pass the SAVE Act. And he's mad and upset and pouting like a child, a man baby, because President Trump defeated Bill Cassidy and is about to defeat John Cornyn in primaries. Two senators who have overstayed their welcome, forgot the mission to the American people, and are not allies of the president. And the president is a leader of the party. He is entitled to choose who he endorses against people who are not playing ball with him. Period. John Thune doesn't think he has that right. So I think John Thune is a failure of a leader. I'm not alone in this endeavor, so thank God. I think most of America agrees with me now. And I think the Senate's about to learn a very difficult lesson in losing John.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It all started with Laura, and I'm getting Bruce Blakeman, Mike Lawler. The names keep coming in. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but, you know, the more impressive people that ask me to do it, the more I have to think about it. Now, I'm not sure President Trump, I'm going to see on Friday, will say it yet because he's still supporting, I guess, Mamdani. I have a feeling if I had a one-on-one with President Trump, he wouldn't be all that nice, but that's fine. But it seems like everybody else wants me to do it. So you started this big mess, Laura. Thank you very much.
Was I the catalyst for this? I'm so honored. Wow, what a thing to say. That's amazing. And I think it's funny you say that he's like on Team Mamdani. No, Donald Trump is on Team New York. And unfortunately, we've got a communist right now who's in charge of New York City. So whoever it is, this president wants them to be successful for New York City. So he's trying to do his best to bridge the gap between the full-blown crazies on the left and obviously the common sense that Donald Trump brings to the equation.
This group kind of like Jexit down in Miami, Jews exiting the Democrat Party. And she had this event in the city. I wasn't here very long. It's relatively new to New York, second time around. And three ladies in particular ran this event. It was Lara Trump. I had met her for the first time that night. It was Liz Pipko, and it was A.J. Katsimatidis. In fact, I think I met John and Margot together for the first time that night. And since then, Lara and I have hit it off great, and her husband, Eric. She's on this show every week And she has now said twice in the last 4 weeks that I should run for mayor, even though I told her my wife would kill me and I don't think I'm going to do it. She's like, just do it. And then last week, KT McFarland, who I respect as much as anybody, said that I should keep my eye on Spencer Pratt out in Los Angeles because he's a reality star like I was a sports guy, no political experience. And she said, if Spencer Pratt wins in Los Angeles, you need to find out who ran his social media campaign, hire those same people, and then you should run for mayor. And I played that throughout the entire week this week. Even Joe Beningo played it on a sports station. So you don't know this, KT McFarland, but you're getting a lot of play from what you said last week that I should take a page out of Spencer Pratt's book and maybe run.
I think it would be brilliant. I mean, think of who the most effective politician is in the last generation. Donald Trump. Now, he's not a politician. He wasn't a traditional guy. He was a businessman. He was in television. He even bottled wine. I mean, he tried everything. He was an entrepreneur, and he'd met every political leader, Republican, Democrat, for the last generation because they all trooped over to Trump Tower to try to get donations from President Trump. And so he's seen the quality or lack of quality of a lot of the leadership. And at a certain point, and I think it was at a White House Correspondents' Dinner, when President Obama took the podium and made fun of Donald Trump for being, uneducated. What did he know? Made fun of everything Donald Trump. That Donald Trump had basically said, I've had enough. I'm going to run. And look what happened. He has changed the political earthquake that's caused because all of a sudden people who are not career politicians are stepping forward, and they're doing it very effectively. I mean, I look at Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania, terrific senator, but he didn't come out of a political background. He was a West Pointer, Army graduate, and then a very successful businessman. So one after another, the people who seem to be breaking through the corruption, the sort of failure attitude of, well, let's just spend more, throw money at it, and not rethink the game. Those are the people who are winning, and those are the people who are actually governing and making a big difference. And you could be one of them.
I could be. Thank you for that. I agree with you, too. Those are the people. I know I brought this up with you a couple of weeks ago, but I love the fact that you worked for 4 presidents, and 2 of them are the 2 best presidents of my lifetime. Some would argue, along with Abe Lincoln, maybe Jefferson, the greatest presidents ever, and that is Ronald Reagan and President Trump. And I know that one guy does something better than the other guy. They each have their strengths, I guess. Not many weaknesses, but I guess they're human. But in the end, if I asked you just flat out, who will go down as the better, more influential president when it's all said and done, because Trump is still serving, President Donald J. Trump or Ronald Reagan, what does your crystal ball tell you?
It depends on the next 3 months, but it could be President Trump. Now, why do I say that? Well, everybody forgets that when Reagan came into office, the United States was going to be, the Soviet Union was going to take over the world. The Soviet Union was expanding all over the world. The American economy was in the dumpster, high unemployment, very high inflation. The Middle East was inflamed and was not selling us oil. So our economy was bad, our foreign policy was bad, and the American people just seemed a sense of, oh, it's over. I mean, before it's really begun, it's over. We're a failure. America the problem is you. Jimmy Carter told us the problem is you, Americans. And so President Reagan came in, it's morning in America, and he flipped it all around, right? The economy got fixed very quickly. We took down the Soviet Union and destroyed communism. The world had a generation of pro-democracy around the world, and the American economy took off, but not only took off, but created a whole new industry, which was the computer industry, the technology industry. Now, where is President Trump and all that? I think his big takedown is going to be, does he revive America again? America's in a very similar position. But when he took office, America.
Well, hold on. I know it is. Oh, you mean when he first took office? Because what I remember, and I'll get back to your Trump point, was I was 13 years old, and I remember being on a line in Brooklyn with my mom and dad and my sister. He was trying to get gas, and the line was like miles and miles long. And I remember that Americans were embarrassed the hostages, because you'll get to Iran. They had our hostages, when Jimmy Carter was president. And, when the hockey team won, for example, in Lake Placid, that had less to do with a hockey goal against Russia or Finland and more to do with, oh, my God, I'm actually proud to be an American again. Do you feel like when he beat Joe Biden that we were really at that point where we were with Jimmy Carter in 1979?
Oh, absolutely. But with a more formidable adversary, and that's China. And I do think that President Trump has it in him. And the difference is, in a lot of ways, President Trump is knowledgeable about a range of things. It's not just that he's really an expert on a couple of things or he really has sort of toughness in one or two different areas. Reagan was tough in a couple of areas where he would just stick with what he thought was right no matter what. And that was on taxes, the economy, communism, the Soviet Union. Trump is really good on a whole lot more things. And his breadth of intellectual curiosity is extraordinary. And yet at the same time, he's still got that toughness. I mean, when he was asked about Iran, are you worried about gasoline prices and Iran using oil in the Strait of Hormuz to blackmail us? And of course, the quote that President Trump gave has been cut and diced and sliced and taken out of context. But what President Trump's meaning was, I'm not going to let these guys blackmail me or the United States over oil. So am I concerned? Well, I'm not as concerned about that as I am about Iran having nuclear weapons. And if they're willing to blackmail us with oil, think of what they will do if they have nuclear weapons.
So where are we with Iran? Does this thing start up again in a couple of days? Or, they polled a bunch of Americans, and Americans said, when asked the question, I saw this on Brett Baer, how long do you think this thing will last? And they asked a day, they asked a couple of months, they asked a year. And the majority of the people that were polled said at least 3 months. What do you think?
No, I think President Trump's going to make a decision shortly to resume. And so all these talks about the talks, right? The rumors are that Iran wants this, the United States wants that, Iran's about to fold, this is about to happen. They're in some kind of negotiation. How serious it is, who knows? But the way President Trump, if you looked at how he's conducted himself, unlike most presidents, who will either negotiate and then you have a ceasefire while you negotiate, or you don't have a negotiation and you go to war. Trump is very good at doing both at the same time, applying the pressure at the same time. And so I wouldn't think it's out of the range of possibility for President Trump to start new hostilities in the sense of going after the remaining military targets, to eliminate. Now we've eliminated the first, second tier of leaders. Let's eliminate the third, fourth, fifth tier of leaders to finally get to somebody who wants to do a deal with us. The difference now is that the Gulf Arabs appear to be on our side. And that's important because we don't want to be in the Middle East forever having to enforce this agreement alone. We would want our neighbors and our allies in the region to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us, intelligence as well as military heavy lifting, and I think that's a good thing. But I would not be at all surprised if he resumes military action. He can't stop now. And when people say, oh, well, it's going to take 3 months, 6 months, whatever, he knows he knows he has to face the electorate in November. And he saw what happened in his first term when the Democrats took control 2 years into Trump's presidency. The rest of the presidency was impeach, 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 accuse, charge. It really hamstrung President Trump, and he can't let that happen this time around. So I do think that he'll force for some kind of a conclusion. I hope he forces for some kind of a conclusion with the Iran war in the short term.
In the final 60 seconds, I agree with you. I think he knows what's at stake here, and we'll see him later on this afternoon. Here in Rockland County, he'll be there to talk about the economy, but really to endorse my dear friend Mike Lawler, who's going to join us next. Mm-hmm. He's about to close up this Iran thing, hopefully, but to start, Cuba. Now, I did speak to our mutual friend Victoria Coates from the Heritage Foundation yesterday. Yeah. She is great. And she said that this is not like Venezuela. It's not going to be that type of military operation. This will be, in terms of military, a little easier, but she does expect that it's much like the Iran ending, maybe just days away. And she does expect a 100% victory like we've seen most of the time with President Trump. What do you expect?
Well, since Victoria is one of my mentees, I mentored her for years and think she's awesome, I also agree with her. I think Cuba will happen very quickly. I think all the pieces are already in place. The indictment, to me, the indictment of the 94-year-old Raul Castro, who's in mental and physical complete decline. Nobody's going to drag him in handcuffs in a jumpsuit, I don't think, into a court. It's the important thing is to make the marker that he was a criminal and he did very bad things to people, and that'll help the American Cuban community in Miami to say, right, we were right all along, but at the same time it gets him off the script and into a retirement home or hospital or wherever he is. And then the only thing standing in the way of an agreement is a bunch of corrupt, incompetent leaders that the Cuban people don't like him. And the opportunities, people who are looking at Cuba as an American investment opportunity and a way to really have a very close relationship, they've already been to Cuba. They've already been measuring the drapes. So I think it's a matter of a short period of time.
God, I love you. I really love you. You're so great on this show. You're great on TV. You're smart. I really enjoy you coming on every Friday. So enjoy your 3-day weekend with Memorial Day coming up on Monday, and we'll do it again next week, KT. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. KT McFarland right there with us every Friday. You can catch her throughout the week on Fox News, and again, has worked for 4 presidents, including 2 pretty good ones, I'd say, Ronald Reagan and Donald J. Trump. We'll take a break.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The king of Rockland County, President Trump, refers to him as Mr. Salt, one of my dearest friends in New York. I'm so proud of this guy. A president has not come to New York to speak in that area for 50 years, not since Gerald Ford in 1976. But Mike Lawler means so much to Congress and our state and this country that President Trump, right after he swears in Kevin Warsh as our new Fed chair, is coming to Rockland County, yes, to speak about the economy, but really to endorse Mike Lawler. So, Michael, congratulations, pal.
Thanks, Sid. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I know you were on air yesterday bitching, saying that I wasn't calling you back.
That's true.
Once again.
But why do you do that, though? I don't understand. I mean, you weren't voting yesterday. What the hell were you doing? I don't get it.
I have a thing called a job.
Oh, fine.
And I know you're important and a big deal.
Right.
But sometimes it takes me more than 5 seconds to be able to.
No. This was 3 hours, and I know you weren't in D.C., and I know you weren't voting, so I know you got a job. Sometimes a job entails going for lunch with Randy Pine. So I'm not exactly sure what you were doing, but you weren't getting back to me for hours. And all I wanted to know was, where am I sitting? What am I doing? Because my fear was you're going to stick me in some auditorium with 6,000 people, and that wasn't going to work for me.
Well, let me say, you have a seat.
I do.
It's marked, okay? Your name is on it.
Okay.
If you don't fucking show up this time, you are never, ever getting an invite anywhere ever again. We got you a State of the Union ticket after all your bitching, all your moaning, all your crybaby antics on air, off air, text messages, phone calls, tweets, insanity, and then you don't show up.
There was a blizzard, Mike. Amtrak shut it down. What was I supposed to do? Hitch?
Get in the car and drive like the rest of America.
Yeah, but the difference is I've got a license that was taken away 9 years ago, so I can't just get in the car and drive.
That's why they have drivers.
I know.
Catsimatidis could have got you a nice driver, and you could have got there in 4 hours.
You know what's hilarious about that is,
with that said,
I know, but Michael kept saying that morning, ask John Catsimatidis for his driver. Sure, hey, John, it's Sid. I got to get to D.C. today. You mind giving me a driver for a couple of hours? How would have that gone? No chance. No chance. So now you put my name on the chair. Now, how does this work? Are there going to be, are all these chairs in front of President Trump? Or are there going to be some chairs behind President Trump? What does this look like?
You're going to sit in a nice VIP area. You're going to have a full view of the stage. You're going to be able to see the president. But I'm just telling you, if you don't show up, lose my number. I never want to hear another request for a fucking ticket to anything.
Oh, God. You know, I have to be honest. I love you so much. I really do. At this point, you're like my brother. I love you that much. And I love the president, but there's a part of me that doesn't want to show up just to get your reaction on this show on Tuesday.
Listen, it certainly makes for good radio.
That would be great. It would be great. Now, I'm going to be there because, all kidding aside, I'm really happy for you. And, you know, look, you and the president, you've had your little back and forth here and there during that whole SALT issue. There were a couple of times where he went to other people and like, oh, that pain in the ass Lawler. I know that's true. I know you know that's true. But he really does respect the hell out of you. And he knows what a great congressman you are. I got to tell you something. You're going to feel badly now. Even George Santos called you a very good congressman on this show last hour. Do you feel badly now?
No, listen, I appreciate it. I think the president coming to Rockland County, as you pointed out, first time in 50 years, a president has come to Rockland for this type of public event. I think it's certainly a great honor. And, you know, as I fundamentally believe, if you want change, if you want things to be addressed with respect to the issues that matter to you, you have to be in the arena. You have to engage. You have to be willing to sit down and negotiate in good faith. And too many people today in politics fundamentally believe that screaming and yelling and holding signs in protest is the way to get things done. And the reality is it is not. People have the right to do that, but the fundamental truth is that does not bring about change. You have to be able to sit down in good faith. That's what I've done. I did it when Joe Biden came to my district 3 years ago. I'm doing it today when President Trump comes. I think the people who, you know, in politics, I mean, there was a press conference yesterday with the NAACP and others railing against me and saying that I'm not delivering for my district. I've delivered more for my district than anybody has representing this area.
Oh, yeah.
Because I show up. I show up in every community. We've closed over 9,000 cases, individual constituent cases, in 3+ years, brought back over $50 million in benefits to my constituents that they were due from the federal government, whether it's the IRS, Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits. I've brought back over $70 million in community project funding to municipalities all across my district, which is more than double what my predecessor brought back. I have fought tirelessly for the people that I represent, whether they agree with me or not, whether they like me or not. I stand up for my district. And the reason the president is coming, and I think you alluded to this, the reason he's coming is because he does respect the fact that I stand up, that I push back for my constituents.
Yep.
And I was asked yesterday in an interview, you know, you push back on the president a lot, but he doesn't attack you in the way he does Thomas Massey or, you know, some of these other folks in your conference. And my answer was, you know, my good looks and charming personality, yes. Yeah. But it's because I don't make it personal. It's about the issues. It is about the substance of the issues. I'm not attacking him personally when I disagree.
No, you like him. I mean, I think you do. You like him. And you do a very good President Trump impression. Yours is one of the best.
Look, fundamentally, you have to be able to engage people. It's how life works. I mean, honestly, just think about marriage. Anybody who's ever been married fundamentally understands you're not going to agree on everything and you're not going to get everything you want.
True.
So why in God's name do you think when it comes to politics that you will or that you should? It's not the way it works.
No, it's a very good analogy. You're right. I would say this to you. I was talking to our friend Bruce Blakeman yesterday, and he's coming today, obviously, and he's very close with President Trump. He was in the Oval Office for 90 minutes just 2 weeks ago, and again, President Trump has endorsed him in a big way, in a very, very big way, over Kathy Hochul. But there was a time when there were 3 Republicans considering running for governor. It was Bruce, it was Elise Stefanik, and it was you. And you did the very unselfish thing, which was, you know what? Congress needs me. We've got a razor-thin edge. And to be honest, Mike, not to patronize you, you're not just a member of Congress. You may be our most valuable. That's how good you are. So you decided to walk away. But do you every now and then look at this race and go, I don't know, kind of wish I was in it?
No, look, I made my decision, and it was the right one for me and my family and my district. And, you know, I know Bruce is out there fighting the good fight, and he will do a great job. And he's got 5 months to make the case to New Yorkers. But Kathy Hochul, in many respects, is making the case for him. She just passed the most radical sanctuary state bill in the country. She is banning local law enforcement from cooperating at all with federal immigration officials. And what that means is that if somebody commits a crime under state law, murder, rape, child abuse, child sodomy, if somebody commits that crime under state law, local jurisdictions are barred from cooperating with federal agents that are seeking to detain that individual.
Oh, come on.
It is. I'm not kidding. This law was passed yesterday. It is absolutely disgraceful. This state, I think about Sheridan Gorman, 18-year-old girl, her whole life ahead of her, from my district, murdered in Chicago by an illegal immigrant who was previously arrested for shoplifting. But because of Chicago's disastrous pro-criminal policies and pro-sanctuary city policies, he was released back out onto the street and committed this heinous, violent crime. These parents, Tom and Jess Gorman, have to now live the rest of their life without their beautiful daughter.
Terrible.
Because of these disastrous policies. And so what does Kathy Hochul say? Hold my beer. And doubles down on one of the dumbest policies you can actually enact anywhere in the country. And she's saying, they say, if you have a federal warrant. Federal warrants only come when there's a federal crime committed. So for state crimes, like murder, like rape, nothing. Ungats. That is unacceptable. And every New Yorker should recognize, yes, we want people to be treated fairly. Yes, we have a legal system that people should be afforded due process of law, but to engage the way that they are and to disregard federal law and to usurp our immigration law and say, no, we're not going to cooperate. Now, think about it this way, Sid. As an American citizen, as a citizen, if you commit a crime and the federal government seeks your extradition or seeks you to be detained, they cooperate. So why are they cooperating when it comes to citizens, but they refuse to cooperate when it comes to illegal immigrants? Isn't there something fundamentally wrong here?
Sick. Yeah, of course. They are the party of illegal immigrants who commit these heinous murders. I do want to throw this out because I know you're in a hurry. Tom Kniff, the amazing attorney, and Daniel Penny's attorney, but so many other cases he's won. He goes, Mike Lawler is also a great weaponization fighter. Hero detective Mike McMahon, who was railroaded by the Biden DOJ, would still be in prison if Mike Lawler did not help us lobby President Trump for his pardon. So there you go from Tom Kniff. He appreciates you.
No, I appreciate that. Look, and Mike McMahon, I'm glad he's out. He'll be there today. Him and his wife Martha Byrne.
Oh, cool.
He deserved that pardon. He never should have been prosecuted in the first place. But this is, our system is in shambles when you look at what states like New York are doing, and just total disregard for the rule of law and the quality of life. And it's why people are leaving this state in droves.
100%. I think about it all the time. Not going to lie. Now I'm going to sign a contract extension that's going to keep me here, which I'm happy about because I still love this city. I still love this state. And we do have great fighters like you there every day, but I think about it. I'm not going to lie. I do think about it. At any rate, Mike, we're all looking forward to seeing you later on today. We all congratulate you. You deserve this. It's not a small thing. Again, first time in 50 years that a sitting president comes to Rockland County, and that is a testament to you. So, Mike Lawler, we'll see you this afternoon. Congratulations. I love you, pal.
I appreciate it. But, Sid, one thing.
Yeah.
When you finish your show, get in the car and come.
Oh,
Don't
really?
wait.
What time you want me to be there? What time should I be there?
You got to get there, get there
By what time?
11, 12 o'clock, somewhere in that
11
range.
o'clock?
Don't wait.
I'm not
Your
coming.
show ends at 10.
No, I'm not coming. I can't make it then. I can't be rushed, Mike. I get.
Oh, good.
I'll see you by noon. I love you to
All right.
pieces. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. The
Yep.
great Mike Lawler right there. They don't come better than this guy. The king of Rockland County, Mr. Salt, Mike Lawler. We got a big party coming up later on today with the president in Rockland County. Take a short break.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So I can't go 3 days without any sun. I'm going to have to do it on Sunday, I guess, no.
Yeah, well, it's like tomorrow. It's not even get to 60 degrees tomorrow and Sunday. Yeah.
Is there any sun on Monday?
Peaks of sunshine.
Peaks of sunshine.
Yeah, just a little peak of it, yeah.
We got a peak like right now. Kind of nice out.
Yeah, this is probably what it'll be like on
Okay.
Monday.
Well, that's not a washout by any stretch.
And it's not even necessarily going to rain all day Saturday and Sunday. It's just going to be cloudy.
Colder.
Yeah.
It's going to be 70 Monday, though, right?
That's what they say, yeah.
Yeah, I guess a lot of folks on the way to the Hamptons. You know who takes the Hamptons really seriously? Arthur Aidala. He's like one of those, geeks. Wears like hats and those terrible white shoes that people used to wear in Bay Ridge in like 1975 and like flowered shirts. And
does he go to the polo matches?
Yeah, he does all that stuff. I mean, he's one of my favorite. He knows he's one of my favorite people. My daughter at dinner last night, I went to Pico, that local Mexican restaurant, with Ava and Gabriel. She said, "Daddy, how long are you friends with Arthur?" I said, not that long. We knew each other a little bit, I guess, at Poly Prep 45 years ago, but we really became friendly because of Bernie and Jill. They started bringing him on. And then I had some difficulties, and his guy Imram is a great lawyer. He hopped in. But then we brought him on all the time. I'm like, oh, my God, I love this guy. So I said, Ava, I don't know, not that long, but I love him. She says, you do love him. I said, 100%. She says, well, what do you think he thinks about you? I said, he uses me just to get on the radio show. There's no question about it. All joking, of course. He's one of the great defense attorneys like Takapina in the world today, and he's just a lovely guy, my dear friend Arthur Aidala. Artie, good Friday morning, buddy. How are you?
I mean, you got so many things wrong there. It's hilarious.
Yeah, none of it's wrong.
First of all, I don't even say I have a house in the Hamptons. I say Eastern Long Island because I think the whole Hamptons thing is BS. Number one.
No, you don't. That's a lie.
No, I actually do. Actually, I live in the blue-collar part of there. I'm in Hampton Bays. I'm with construction work, all the good guys, all the blue-collar guys.
Is that the very first, I think my friend Jen DeLandro lives there. From Dolce Aesthetics. That's like the first one you get to, right? That's barely the Hamptons. Barely.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
It's the poor people's part, number one. Number two, if you want to know, and I told this story yesterday, if you want to know how much Sid loves Arthur Aidala, because, Sid comes on the radio and he says, I love you, I love closest friend, Mike Lawler. This, that. Okay,
I do love Mike
wonderful.
Lawler. But when was the last time you took me to see the president?
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
All right.
When I walked in to Gabriel's bar mitzvah, okay?
Yeah.
I'm expecting I'm going to see John Katsimatidis, and I'm going to see Bernie, and I'm going to see Jill, and I'm going to see the other people on the station. I saw no one from your work life.
It's true.
It was only your family life, and you sat me in between your mother and your sister at your son's bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes
Yes.
about who you really love.
That's true. You were at the family table, so that shows how much I love you. Now, I got to give John and Margot credit because they did something that's more important. The party was at Beauty in Essex, which is a great place.
They paid for the whole thing, right? Is that what they
No,
did?
no, they didn't pay for it. No, stop it. What are you, nuts? No, but what they did do, which was really important, was they showed up at the temple. And I always say this, it's easy to come to the party. That's the fun stuff, right? That's what I pay for. But when you go to the shul in the morning and you're there when my son read the Haftorah and part of that was really special. In fact, Gaby called John Katsimatidis up to the altar up to the actual to hold the Torah. So they were there for that. But you're right in terms of the party. You sat at the family table, and who knew that was the beginning of this great friendship between you and my daughter, because she loves you, and she's doing great with you every day. She loves it.
You should see the stuff she's working. I mean, we were in federal court yesterday, and here's what people maybe sometimes forget. Like these judges who have an enormous amount of power, they put their pants on one leg at a time as well. They're just human beings, just with a different set of experiences. So I had to make this big oral argument yesterday in federal court. Your daughter was front and center. And when it was over, I didn't ask anyone else what they thought. I asked the 21-year-old, who has a very big brain, by the way, what'd you think? And she says to me, you want my opinion? I go, yeah, I want your opinion. There's not that much difference between you sitting in the front row and the judge sitting up high. And God bless her. She goes, well, I don't want to criticize you. I go, I absolutely want you to criticize me.
Wow.
And she's like, well, I thought this made sense and that made sense. She goes, I don't think the argument you made about this was really that persuasive. Beautiful. I love that. Number one, I love that she's thinking that way. But number two, that's the only way you get better. Everyone telling you, you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great. That doesn't help. Someone saying, I think you could have tweaked this or tweaked that. That's what makes things better. And then we leave there and we go and we work on Ingrid Lewis Martin's case, the chief of staff of the city of New York under Eric Adams. So your daughter starts off the morning in federal court on a major sentencing on insider trading, watching me argue with the family and everything. We get to the office and she's ripping apart files on a BS bribe. I mean, wow, what a BS bribery case Alvin Bragg brought on this one. And then she did an unbelievable job listening to all of these tapes of a retired Detective Endowment Association lawyer. Well, he is a lawyer, and he was a head guy in DEA, and he left, and he's accused of narco-terrorism. And there's God. Ava with these earphones on. She's listening to the whole thing. She's digesting it. I mean, I'm getting a thrill that I'm at a point in my life giving a young person such incredible opportunities to experience the law in its most raw, pure form, and all different areas of the law. She was in court on a federal case, meeting with a client in a state case, listening to a narco-terrorism case and the actual back and forth between a DEA agent and the undercover officer who was trying to bribe him. I mean, it shows we're like legitimately old, that we're kind of passing off the baton. Yeah. And here's the best part. Your daughter is gorgeous, in case you haven't noticed. Yeah. But because she's your daughter, like I can't even, she's like my daughter. Right. So now I'm not even checking her out. Right. Unlike everyone in the office who's like, did you see Ava today? Oh my God. Yeah. I go, shut up, will you? It's my friend's daughter.
Right. But, there you go. There you go.
You can't help it.
Right. No, but
what are you going to do? You can't help it.
Don't make me go there and start
beautiful girl.
beating up all your attorney friends here, because I'll do that. That's
I know. The only problem, not the only problem, the accurate thing when I said to her yesterday, I go, Ava, you're so, because she's reading a book. You don't see 21-year-olds holding a book in their hand. But there she is reading a book. I go, you're so smart. She goes, I get that from my mother.
I know. Sure, she does. I mean, I know it's funny, right? It is funny, I know.
She does.
Yeah, no, because Danielle has been an avid reader her whole life, too. And look, Danielle's a tremendous attorney. She really is. So, Ava looked up to her mother, and again, having the opportunity to work with you, and on any given day, like you said, she was working with Ingrid Lewis Martin yesterday. I know she's been around for Duran stuff, which is a big deal, and she's seen the Harvey Weinstein stuff. So the one thing about your firm, this is a testament to you, Arthur, is because you're so great at your job, you've got some of the biggest cases and most recognizable clients in the country. And like you said, she's actually 22 now. For a 22-year-old girl to see that and experience that every day, this is a type of experience other kids would die for. Now, talking about Harvey Weinstein, and again, thank you on behalf of Danielle and I for all you do for Ava. We love you for that. We do.
It's my pleasure.
No, we love you. Well, Harvey's back in the news. It seems like Harvey's in the news like every week, like a trial every day with this guy. What's going on with that?
Well, number one, because you're right, he is in the news so much, and it is amazing how he must still get clicks. I mean, the New York Post can tell how many times people look at an article and how long they look at it, and they wouldn't be putting him out there all the time if people weren't still interested. So people are still interested. It's so funny since you brought it up. So he went to trial for a third time. And to Harvey's credit, he noticed that, like, I was not passionate on this one. I was passionate for his first one. I was I won his appeal. I was passionate about that. I was passionate about the last trial where we got him acquittal. We got him a hung jury. But there was one case that the hung jury had to go to trial again. And he's like, Arthur, I can tell you're not really into it. I go, Harvey, it's an E felony. It's the lowest felony. They should dismiss it. Alvin Bragg should say, you've already been convicted on something. You're going to go to jail for 10 years. He has 16 years in California. We're not going to waste the taxpayers' time, energy, effort, and energy and money. We're going to dismiss it. I begged them to. I was almost on my knees, Sid, and I'm not exaggerating. I was like leaning in, and they're like, no, well, she needs justice. She needs justice. So Harvey smartly and with my blessing hired another lawyer who got the exact same result. He got a hung jury as well. Now, I was up against the first trial, seven women against Harvey. The last trial, 3 women against Harvey. This was a one-on-one, a mano-a-mano, Harvey against her. And they got, they got the same result. They got a hung jury because who knows what really happened, et cetera. So now he's going to get sentenced in New York. He's already sentenced in California. He was the poster boy for Me Too. He will go down in the annals of history of being the poster boy of Me Too.
Yep.
And on the trajectory he's going in right now, he will die in prison. I think the good thing that you may be getting the exclusive on right now is they have just opened a new wing. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be telling you this or anyone this, but they just opened a new wing at Bellevue Hospital for those who are in Rikers Island who are terminally ill. Harvey has heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. And he was transferred there last night from Rikers Island. I haven't even spoken to him yet. But it's a big deal because Rikers knows they don't have the facilities to treat a 74-year-old, however old he is, with cancer and heart disease and diabetes.
Right.
And, so he's going to go there and maybe he'll be a little bit more comfortable for a little while, until they find their next victim. But, because the DA's office in Manhattan is very different than when Bob Morgenthau and Frank Hogan were there. But you mentioned Eric Duran. He was in my office this week with his wife, what a beautiful couple. I mean, Sid, they met at 15. They got married around the corner from the courthouse where he was convicted. And we are rolling up our sleeves to make sure that the appellate court realized that this trial judge, who was a jury of one, they had to waive a jury because in the Bronx, Sid, you really don't have a shot if you're a cop going to trial. So they thought going in front of a judge who's a former prosecutor, who's a former narcotics prosecutor, so he knows how these, what you call buy and bust drug deals on the street go down. They thought it would be a judge who would have the common sense to realize Eric Duran did nothing wrong that day except maybe save 2 other cops' lives because this kid on the moped was heading right towards these cops who had their back towards him. But he didn't. Not only did he convict him, but he gave him this insane sentence of 3 to 9 years in jail. So I have the best and brightest lawyers in my opinion, in the city of New York, if not the state, and I don't say that lightly. Judge Kamens, Judge Leventhal are 2 retired judges. Diana Fabi Sampson, Jonathan, we were the team that got Harvey Weinstein's case overturned when he was the most hated man in America. But we literally, after Jeffrey Epstein died, but we convinced 4 of the 7 judges on the Court of Appeals and said, look, Weinstein did not get a fair trial. We are so committed to Eric Duran to get the same outcome. And the way you just spoke to Congressman Lawler about Trump pardoning that detective.
McMahon, yeah.
God willing, when Bruce Blakeman becomes the governor, he said one of the first acts he will do is to pardon, because the president can't do it. It's a state case. The governor is the only one who can do it.
Right.
So under either administration, we're going to put in a pardon application because anyone who looks at the facts of this case, you don't even have to be objective. You could be against Duran, but the facts of the case, it's on video. You can see what's about to happen. If he didn't stop the guy from from getting off that moped, he was going to run right into 2 cops at 30 miles an hour with a 500-pound moped, and he's 200-pound weight. And there was an expert called that said he was going to cause serious physical injury or death to either one of those cops. So, we're going to fight like madmen to help Eric Duran out. And what I mentioned about what President Trump did, I talked about what Bruce Blakeman did. What I want to know, Bruce Blakeman said one of the first things he would do. I want to know what Mayor Sid Rosenberg, what one of your first acts would be when you got sworn in on January 1st. It's midnight, December 31st. You got the pen. You're sitting at the table, and everyone says, Mr. Mayor, what's the first thing you're doing to change the city of New York?
I'm going to arrest Mamdani. Just like he threatens to arrest Bibi, I'm going to arrest Mamdani. First thing I'm going to do.
What are you doing with harassment?
I don't know. You'll figure out something. That's your job, not mine.
I heard his voice earlier on your show about, giving the tickets on that. I can't even stand to hear the guy's voice. I mean, I was on CNN 2 nights ago, and one of these liberal nut jobs brought up, how great he is, and I lost it. I got beat red. I was like, he's chasing the money out of New York. You understand what that means to the New York economy, the New York City economy, the New York State economy, the national economy. He's telling people who have been successful, who contribute billions of dollars to the city, tens of thousands of jobs to the city, telling them to leave. Even Kathy Hochul said, I'm going to Florida to try to get the millionaires and billionaires back. Yeah. Give me a effing break.
I know. He's really what I would do first, all kidding aside, now that you mentioned Eric Duran, is I would hire more cops, and a lot of them, thousands and thousands, and I'm already, I get along so well with Scotty Monroe, who runs the DEA, and Dom, who runs a retired DEA, and Vincent, who runs the Sergeants Benevolent Association, actually helped get that new contract for those guys. So the first thing I would do is exactly the opposite of this idiot mayor. I would add more police. And then after that, it would kind of be like the Democrats do with President Trump. Whatever he did, Mamdani, I would look to unravel. All of it. All of it. And I would be at the Israeli Day Parade, unlike this mayor, which is really, you think about it, I don't want him there. I really don't. As a proud Jew, I don't want a terrorist lover at my parade. But forget about what I want. The fact that the mayor is not going to the Israeli Day Parade, boy, Artie Aidala, that tells you an awful lot, huh?
Well, when I brought it up to the political operative forever, Hank Shenkoff, he goes, what are you talking about? Look at Mamdani. He goes, he's one of the few politicians who's kept all of his campaign promises.
It's true. No, you're right.
He basically made it clear, I'm against the Jews.
Yeah.
I'm against the rich.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he's doing.
By the way,
he's screwing the Jews. He's
and
screwing the rich.
Yeah, and your parade, which I have the opportunity to drive a convertible in every year, thanks to Angelo Vivolo, a great guy, the beautiful Columbus Day Parade. Let's not forget, as we get set for that one come this fall, Mamdani walked past the Christopher Columbus statue and gave it the middle finger. Remember that?
Oh, but are you kidding me? Who could forget that? I spoke to your good friend, and I know how highly you think of him, Bill de Blasio, recently. And I said, listen, Mayor, I said, I know you have some influence with this administration. Do not let them mess with the Columbus Day Parade. And you know what Bill said to me? He goes, look, his base, Mamdani's base, is already pissed at him. Ready for this? Because they don't think he's doing enough liberal left-wing things. He goes, I'm sure by the time the Columbus Day Parade rolls around, they are going to want him to just, eliminate it. Not even give now Bill didn't say this, but this was the insinuation, was like not even give the permit for the parade.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, we really did an interesting thing by electing this guy the mayor of the city of New York, put it that way. But, Sid, with all that being said, last night when I left my office at 10:30, 11 o'clock, the city was packed. Well, Midtown, where I was, packed. The bars, the restaurants, Times Square, Broadway. And, everyone's saying how broke we are. And meanwhile, you guys just reported the price of gas is $1.50 more. And we're going to set a record for having the most cars on the road. So I don't even know what's up and what's down.
I know, it's weird. No, because Danelle and I were in the city a couple of weeks ago, and every restaurant was packed. And she kept saying to me, I thought everybody was broke. Every restaurant was packed. Now, last night you also had, right there in the middle of the city, our New York Knickerbockers winning a playoff game at Madison Square Garden. That does empty out into the streets. That does mean business for a lot of that area. But the truth is, to your point, you never know. Every one of these restaurants, and they're not cheap. They're packed. Packed.
How about this? And I was talking about they're not cheap. The other day was my partner John Esposito's birthday. I went and I bought 2 beers, right? 2 Harp beers, and I put $20 on the bar. And I had to ask the woman, I go, is that enough? And she goes, yeah, they're $10 each. Wow.
You had to take out more money just to tip her.
What?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Throw an extra $5.
How the hell does how does your buddy Imram go to Palladino's every night? Every night.
Oh, that's another great spot. But you talk about though the Knicks, and as excited as everyone is, it does help that economy over there.
Oh yeah.
I'm a dear friends with the owners of a place called American Whiskey on 30th.
I know it. Sure.
And I mean, it makes their year. It literally does. This whole playoff run makes their year. And if they get into, which God willing they will, when they get into the finals, that's another whole big run because people don't even go there just for the Madison Square Garden games. They go there to watch the games even when they're playing away.
That's right.
Real quick, last night when Luca and I were driving out east, and we were talking about, they're definitely going to get in. They got a 2-0 lead. The Knicks do. I go, Luca, the year your mother and I got married, the New York Yankees, with all the great Yankees, were up 3-0 on the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
Never in the history of the playoffs did a team come back and win 4. I go, it was miserable. I was there with Tacopina.
Yeah.
We were there at the last game. He threw up almost. He had to leave. He left in like the 6th inning. He's like, I can't stay. I stayed till the end. I watched Jeter and Mariano sitting in the Yankee dugout watching the Red Sox party on the mound. I will never forget what that moment was like.
Ain't going to happen with this Knicks team. They're just too good. They've won 9 consecutive playoff games. These games aren't even close. Atlanta, Philadelphia, Cleveland, they're winning by double digits every night. So you're right. We've seen countless examples where the home team got cocky and the fans thought they were on their way. But there's nothing logical with the Knicks just blowing out their opponents every game, blowing them out to picking somebody else. The Knicks are going to the finals. Now, we can talk about Oklahoma City and San Antonio on a different day, but there will be finals games in Midtown Manhattan come a couple of weeks. Arthur, you're beautiful. I love you. Great, great segment. Thank you again for all the great stuff you're doing with Ava. She appreciates it. So do we. Have yourself a great holiday weekend. We'll talk again next week, buddy. Thank you so much.
Tell President Trump I said hello. I love you, brother.
I will. I love you, too.
Congratulations on all your success.
You, too. Todd Blanche loves you, too. That's a big one there, Arthur. Todd Blanche. That's a big deal. That's Arthur Aidala, tremendous defense attorney, even a better guy, super guy. Great family, too. We'll take a break. Naomi's got the news. Again, Monday is Memorial Day, and it's more than just hot dogs, hamburgers, and beer. It's a time when every American should thank our courageous men and women that give up their lives, the ultimate sacrifice every day, all over the world, to make sure we can enjoy the freedoms that we do so freely. We'll talk to the big-time decorated Colonel Jack Jacobs after Noam with the news.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What do you call that when these artists perform, like in Vegas, like monthly, Manilow? And Residency. So I think Morrissey had one of those on Broadway. I guess it was a residency, not really a Broadway show, but at any rate, he performed a lot of his hits and the Smiths, and it was great. I loved it. Actually saw that years ago. I'm a big Morrissey fan. I'm also a big Jack Jacobs fan. Monday is Memorial Day, and we spend a lot of time on this show, more than most, if not more than any, talking about vets and cops and all the people that are so quick to make the ultimate sacrifice for our city, for our country. We love the law enforcement folks around the country. We love ICE on this show. We love ICE. I can't, for the life of me, figure out why anybody wouldn't. And stop giving me this Renee Good, Alex Preddy nonsense. For the 1,000th time, they were not dragged out of church or their bedrooms. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. They were begging for an issue. They did not deserve to die. Make sure you put that in there, idiots, okay? They did not deserve to die, but they put themselves in a situation where they could have died. Now, does that mean that the thousands and thousands and thousands of rapists and drug dealers and murderers and child abductors that have since been deported and put away, that it's not worth it because of those two people? Are you nuts? Are you kidding me? along with the thousands of children that were lost during the Biden administration, that Homeland Security and Tom Homan and all those fine people found in Minnesota. I can't believe we're having this argument. I can't believe it. Lawler mentioned Sheridan Gorman. I'll be in Rockland County later on today, thanks to Mike, to see President Trump. Sheridan Gorman, you remember her, shot in the back in Chicago. Remember? Her and her two girlfriends went for a walk, and some illegal, a lot of folks think that maybe it was his initiation into a gang, walked up behind her, and for no reason, shot her in the back and murdered her. She happens to be from Mike Lawler's district. He knows her parents very, very well. These are the types of crimes we're seeing happen all the time. All the time. What exactly are you against? What? And the lies that come from Hakeem Jeffries and the rest of these losers, like ISIS breaking into schools and nurseries and churches, it's a lie. You know who's doing that? Don Lemon. And I don't know why people still bring Don Lemon on their show, or like I see Don Lemon stuff all the time. Don Lemon is an asshole. He got fired from CNN. He's stupid. He's a racist. Well, I say people, it's the left, of course, but he's a guy that did that in a church in Minnesota. Innocent churchgoers that he literally terrorized on a Sunday morning. So Memorial Day is coming up on Monday. We're going to speak to the Vietnam vet, the great Jack Jacobs. He'll be on this show actually coming up next, right, Justin? So let's grab a break.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
3 days before Memorial Day. Colonel Jack, welcome back, my friend. How you feeling?
Well, considering how ancient I am, I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
You're talking about Imus, that goes back decades and decades.
I know. You want to hear something odd? I recently reestablished a relationship with Imus's wife, Deirdre, and his son, Wyatt, has now been on the show twice over the last month. And you really want to feel old, Jack? Wyatt is now 27 years old.
That's. I mean, I was up at West Point giving a speech at the Jewish chapel yesterday, day before yesterday, for the they're going to have graduation here shortly on Saturday, and they had a commencement at the Jewish chapel. I gave a speech there, and on the wall is a list of Jewish Medal of Honor recipients, and included in it is a guy named Ben Kaufman, who received the Medal of Honor in the First World War. And I looked up and I remembered that after I was decorated, I met Ben Kaufman. I knew him quite well, and I thought he was the oldest guy in the world. I was very irritated to realize that when I met him, he was 2 years younger than I am now. This is very talking about going back in time.
That's funny. I did get a text here from my friend Russ Sullivan. He says, greetings to a true hero from a fellow 193rd Infantry Brigade alum. Colonel Jacobs was a battalion commander when I was a mere platoon leader at Fort Clayton, second and first lieutenant at the same time. My friend Russ Sullivan, who went on to become a big-time Secret Service guy, lives in Virginia. So people love you, Jack, all over the world, and they should, and I love you. And Monday's coming up, and I told you this a couple years ago. I went to Israel 2 years ago for their Memorial Day. They call it Yom HaZikaron. And what they do in Israel, I think you know this already, but they flip the switch at 6 o'clock at night. They switch from Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day, to Yom HaTzmeot, which is Independence Day. So they go from this very solemn day to this country party, and it's great. But they do that, I think, because they want the opportunity for folks to really pay tribute to the brave IDF soldiers, men and women who have died. So on that day, for example, all people do is they go to Mount Herzl, they go to cemeteries, they sit among family members. There's no barbecues. There's no beer drinking. It is a very solemn day. I remember leaving Jack Jacobs and saying, I wish it was like that in America. I don't think people here really appreciate. Right?
It used to be that way. I remember when I was young, it was that way. We had Decoration Day. We remembered the kids who didn't come back. I'm reminded of the fact all the time when I think about Memorial Day. We lost almost 500,000 Americans killed in action during the Second World War. And we forget about their service and sacrifice and those who came afterwards at our great peril. We should never forget that Memorial Day is a solemn day, and we should think about the kids who are out there right now in harm's way, making sure that we have a good time. We don't have to make any contribution to that at all. We're sitting and enjoying it. We can't forget them.
So well said and true. And I do think that Americans tend to get caught up in their 3-day weekend in the Hamptons, and they don't even know why they're up on Monday. They have no idea, but they're enjoying themselves when people died to make this work for them. The Old Guard soldiers placed 260,000 flags in Arlington just yesterday for some of these brave souls. And look, right now, Colonel, we're in the middle of a war, right? Iran, we did lose some service members. Thank God, not too many, but even one is a terrible loss. So we've got men and women all over the world. Some you read about, some you don't. But some of this Iran conflict puts a lot of our kids in danger.
Well, we've got thousands, tens of thousands of troops in the region to protect us and our allies, and they're constantly at risk. And they're in a very bad neighborhood. The Iranians are not going to stop until they've said that they're going to death to America, death to Israel, and they're going to keep doing what they're doing as long as they possibly can. It's going to be extremely difficult to dislodge those guys, and it's long overdue that we do something about them. They've been absolutely awful since 1979. There may be some glimmers of hope. It's possible that there are people inside the Republican guards who will change their mind about who they're going to support inside, but that remains to be seen. But we've got kids out there who are targets all the time, and we got to keep them in mind, especially on this holiday.
Even the bases all around those Arab countries now have become, Iran hits them, all of them. So you're right, a lot of those kids are in peril. One more, Jack, you and I have had this conversation so often. You served in Vietnam, and no group of soldiers were treated more poorly when they got home than you guys. It's heartbreaking. I still see guys on the street here in New York, living on the street, that have signs that say served in Vietnam. And I always ask you the same question, but I'm curious again, right before Memorial Day. Do you feel like the country now appreciates you guys? The further you are removed from that war, do you feel like the country appreciates you more, or not really, and quite frankly, they forgot about you?
It's not all about me or any individual soldier. It's not even about my generation or any particular generation. It's the whole notion that we are lucky enough to have outsourced the defense of the Republic to a very small number of young men and women who are willing to do it. And as a result of that, because we don't have to do anything, we get very complacent about what it takes to seize and preserve freedom. And so when you are complacent, you don't care. That's why, we're concerned about the fact that, there's nothing wrong with having a really good time. Everybody likes to have a good time, but we need to pause and think about what the costs are. Somebody once asked me one time, what do you think about on Memorial Day? And I said the same thing I think about every day. The friends of mine I left behind on the battlefield, without whom I wouldn't have survived myself.
Oh, my God. Final 30 seconds, Jack. Do you think this country needs a draft?
Oh, yeah. You're talking to somebody who believes in universal service. I think if you're lucky enough to live in a free country, you owe it something in the form of service. We don't have the political will to do it, but we need to do it. It's vitally important that everybody make a contribution to the defense of the country. And you don't have to serve for 2 years or any of that stuff, but everybody needs to serve. And until we have the political will to do something like that, I think we're going to be at risk. And it's too dangerous a world for us to be at risk with only a very small number of people making a contribution to our freedom.
I have a huge guest list with a lot of very important people. I'm often just don't really think about it. I'm not often humbled. I am by you. For a long time, Jack, whether, again, you're on with Imus or on with me a lot over the last decade or so, I want to thank you for your service on behalf of all Americans. Really, I mean this sincerely. You're a wonderful guy, a real war hero. thank you for everything. We'll be thinking about you, too, not just the people that we lost on Monday, but everybody that is willing to, serve and possibly go through that ultimate sacrifice. So, Colonel Jack Jacobs, we love you. Thank you so much.
Love you back. Thanks so much, Sid, for having me on the program. I appreciate it.
God bless you. Colonel Jack Jacobs, one of the finest men you'll ever meet. And I've had the opportunity to meet him. And him coming on the show is a big deal. I know, Lou, you know him for a long time, too.
Always. He's an amazing man.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, he was on Imus 30-something years ago, and, well, he's just a great guy.
Smart and one of the nicest men you'll ever meet.
He really is, as you are. All right, we're done. This week is over.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.